Anyhow, good to see you guys. Welcome. As you guys come in, hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Got an excellent show here for you guys. The end of choosing better. Why we are failing at selection. So that's the main topic, and I got some clips I'll play on the back end. It's kind of tied into everyday conversation. It's good to get you guys' perspectives and hope we can provide some value to some folks that's watching or maybe on the panel. Maybe we might learn a thing or two. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to kick it off with this first question. Y'all ready? When did knowing better stop translating into doing better for us? When did knowing better stop translating into doing better for us? Oh, y'all got to process. It's going to take a little minute. Go ahead.
First thing that comes to my mind, I'm sorry, is when you know better, you do better. That's but when um
No, no, Paris. I think that's hard to answer. I feel like as you grow and evolve, you start to become more aware, and so certain things, you start to pay attention to. So I, I don't know if it's like just this kind of generation that's changed, like at what point, or the fact is that I don't know how old everybody is, but maybe 30s, 40s, 50s, like you start to just be more mindful of what's going on. I don't know.
What you think, Trev?
I think when people stopped caring about others, I think when people became more self-serving, that's that's what I would contribute most of it to. When we lost standards, right? We can't really pull each other's coat like that. People don't want to hear it. In the information age, when we have access to information and everybody feels like they've mastered subjects without any real studies, when people are able to do what they want to do, I think the standards is what's the main culprit to me. We don't have a standard. We just do what we want to do. How can you have any order without any standards?
You say we don't have standards as a whole or just individually?
Um, I would say collectively we don't have a standards. It's because of so many individuals not having standards and not being able to set a standard. We're at a place where we're able to do whatever we want, right? You can't check somebody for dressing improperly. Everything is now called shaming. It's no order. You do whatever you want to do. If it makes you feel good, then it's okay. As long as it makes you feel good.
What you think, Melanie?
I agree with a lot of what Trev said. Um, I mean, I also would add in that I think it has a lot to do with household values, the way you've grown up, what we're seeing, the lack of respect for parents, and the kids get to witness it and grow up with those behaviors as well.
What about you, True?
Forgive me, JR. Could you repeat the question?
Sure. Give me 1 second. The question was, when did knowing better stop translating into doing better for us?
I think when there's been no consequences for wrong choices, you can do bad and still end up with positive reinforcement. No one has a standard of what bad looks like, and then if it's bad, it can be rewarded somehow, some way. There's always like a glory story at the end, whether it's 3 kids, 5 kids, tattoos, you were ex addict. So there's no social consequence, in my opinion, as long as you can overcome it with maybe money or sorts, popularity. People seem to be okay with it. That's what I noticed.
All right. Miss Mack, it's on you, ma'am. Welcome to the show. When did knowing better stop translating to doing better for us?
Mm. That reminds me of something that I was having turmoil with when I started to do like deep Bible studies at some point, where the saying is ignorance is bliss. Um, Sometimes you know better, but then you just don't want to do better because of the work that goes behind that. And then as you dig deeper into that, you realize how much more stuff you actually have to do on top of that. So it becomes an extra task on top of just living every day. Um, and as we see, it's very easy to look at others and see what others are doing wrong versus what you're doing wrong too.
How you feeling about this, Willie?
I feel great about it. Overall, if you knew better, you do better. Hasn't been the case, at least since I've been an adult, or maybe in my late 20s, because people do know better and they still do worse. And it's more like if doing better was easy, then you do better. But that's just not how it goes. I just think people are overall just more late or lazy and willing to tolerate less. Trev said that if we had standards, then that's what happened. I think that we do have standards. They're just so low that doing better, that people have lowered the standards so that doing better takes us the minimal amount of effort possible. So, for someone who is lazy, doing better is getting up out of bed and washing their ass instead of like going to work, going to the gym, going to go do something, go clean, fix something, build something. And, for women, doing better is, if they suck one dick last week, only sucking a half one this week. Like the bar has been set so low that people tend to make up worries that, what I'm saying? It's like they've diluted better down to a level that makes whatever their current level of effort is or their lifestyle, they've kind of like, trying to think how to word this, but they have warped it to fit their own definition of like whatever it is in their life, and we don't have a community standard anymore.
Willie,
What?
shut your ass up.
I didn't lie.
Jesus. Well, since everyone spoke for me, I guess it's on me. I think I actually agree with a lot of what Trev said. But I think that standards, we do have standards. We've been taught standards, but when we reach adulthood, I ain't gonna hold you, 18, we be like, fuck them standards. I'm gonna go have fun. Unfortunately, some of us never stop having that fun, and we create so much chaos that we complicate our lives in such a way that does not make it um, a good soil to grow a relationship. We traumatize ourselves by our decisions. We do all of the things our parents taught us stuff. Well, they taught us what not to do and what to do. And even if they didn't, you a full grown fucking adult. Figure it out. You can't use the excuse of my parents didn't raise me like that. They didn't. But take what you can and do something with it, and then go find yourself something else, because the world as a whole, screw the world. The Black community as a whole we do have standards. We just don't abide by them because we let the white Western culture deter us from the things that we know to be true and we know to be right. And so we complicate our lives so much as young adults, babies, unnecessary relationships, all of the things like toxic things, sleeping around, all of those things, so that when it's time, like when we like, all right, I'm ready, your life is so convoluted, your life is so messy that you're not a viable candidate for anyone else. And this goes for men and women. I'm not talking about any one side. We do so much harm to ourselves trying to have fun, big fun, that you're not a viable candidate for anyone, and you go and you wreck other people's lives with that. So it's really messy, but I think that we do have standards. We just don't abide by them.
So I would say, like, I don't know about that, because standards now is subjective. And just being on these type of platforms, you hear like there is a group of people that are in agreement with whatever you got going on. So, before, certain things that we allow today wouldn't have passed then. You'll have, the majority of people would hold you accountable or shine you or look down upon you or whatever the case is. There were more consequences, shame and all that extra. But now it's like, I mean, you could find a group that's just, okay with your shenanigans, whatever it is. And is no in the mass holding us accountable for certain standards or morals or principles anymore. Because if one group don't like it, you just go to the next group. But you can continue to act the way that you act, even though it's not morally right or, wasn't up to standards back then. Today you can do whatever you want to do.
All right. Anybody want to respond to what she said? I guess not. She had a mic drop. All right. What's going on, Restoring the Village? I'm going to get you in on this question, too, that I asked everyone else.
Good evening.
Huh?
Oh, I was saying good evening to everybody.
Okay. All right. The question that I asked everybody was, find it, when did knowing better stop translating into doing better for us?
When did knowing better translate into not doing better?
When did knowing better stop translating into doing better for us?
I mean, I'm assuming you mean in regards to like the abundance of information as far as like social emotional health, how we connect with others.
No, so the main topic is the end of choosing better while we are failing at selection. And so the question that I had was, when did knowing better stop translating into doing better for us?
I mean, I guess I need a second to think about that.
Okay. That audio doing the same thing it did the first time. No, the second time.
Yeah, okay, one moment. Let me switch to the.
All right. My bad, y'all. I'm just struggle streaming over here. My audio was going in and out all over the place. We got this clip I'm going to go ahead and play real quick just to get you guys' opinion about what was said.
What is a man's purpose? A man's purpose is to manage society, build, protect, and create an environment for humanity to thrive. And a woman's job is to advise him, support him, and create a peaceful environment for him to do that. It's very silent. If women could stay this silent, we could do our job.
That was good. That was good.
I just played this clip. How realistic is this today as far as the purpose for men that Akon said? Go ahead, Willie. Came off the mic.
I mean, it's realistic for men because for that part, but the part where women being quiet and the way he said, he proved his point. Like that's I think that's unrealistic. That when, wait, before I answer this let me ask you this: are we talking about in the black community or overall?
It could be both overall. Tie it in all together. Have you want?
Well, because overall, I think there's a better chance. But in the black community, I don't think that we got a snowball chance in hell, given that the average woman isn't of that ilk, and the women who are so few and far in between that men aren't even finding them. And unfortunately, when they do find them, a lot of us are so blinded about the physical needs that we have that we're not paying those women any attention.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
if you look at the women that men seek, right? We have a physical type, and a lot of these women, once they have that, they fit that physical archetype. They also are corrupted by everything that comes with it. So all the sexual attention they get, they try to monetize that. They try to use it to their advantage, and then by the time they've had 2, 3, 5, 10 years of that, they're not the men that if a man does find them, he doesn't want them because again, those women tend to collect dicks like infinity stones, and that's one of the things that bothers us about those types of women. So even if they are a woman who would sit back and support a man, we're not choosing them because of what they've been doing until they got to us.
Go ahead, restoring like you was. Okay. Go ahead, Paris. Y'all act like y'all don't have conversations all day. Y'all be on the phone all day, having these same conversations, talking about everything. Y'all act like y'all scared to talk today.
Well, I think it's a great idea what he's saying. I don't have too much pushback for it. Sounds like a fair trade. Sounds like a good life. I mean, he even threw in their advice, right? So all the women that say, "Oh, he just wants me to cook and clean and shut up." I mean, he definitely said advice, so that definitely means you have a voice. You may not have the final say, but your voice does matter. Yeah, I don't have no pushback for what he said. Sounds good. I wish more women wanted it.
Hey, but to the panel's credit though, they are proving that they can be quiet, like he was talking about in the video. That's you got to give them credit for that, even though it's not at the right time. But at least in practice, they know. In theory, they know how to do it.
Um, I don't think anything that he had said has a problem to it. I think the reality is that neither side are standing up to that plate, and kind of in a circular motion of like, you're not doing this, so I'm not going to do that kind of situation. I think there are a lot more women that would want that if that was actually a space that was created more often. A lot of times when this is being asked of women, it's being asked from people that don't deserve that kind of space to even be created for them. Just like we're saying, there's far and few between women with certain things, there's far and few between men within that can really stand up to that plate too. So that goes back to better, do better. Not the majority of people are not standing in these spaces on either side. Not
I would say
fully,
it's
not
more
totally.
women over men. Men haven't evolved that much. Women are the ones constantly evolving. We don't find pleasure in any of the things that make us feminine. We want to do what a man can do. So I would have to say it's more on the women than the men, but I will agree with you that it is on both sides. But even on the man's side, right? Most of these are fatherless environments. So can we really say what men are not doing when we don't give them spaces to learn amongst other men?
I would say the only thing I say with that is that sometimes I do lean towards it being more on the women's side. And I only say that because it goes into our main power of influence and advising, essentially. We're using our intuition and our connection to source for all the wrong reasons too. I always had this theory of if more women actually shifted, men would be forced to shift. To be honest with you,
Can you explain
from
that?
it's at the end of the day, it's about access, right? Whether that man wants that access for the night or he wants that access for his lifetime that he's going to be with you. So if you have a higher set of rules for him to even get that access to you, that man is going to shift. Just like men have, in this space have learned to, if I make more money, I can get more women's attention. It's the same kind of concept and idea in some way. But it would have to be a large shift on our end as women and not like the minority, if that makes sense.
You
I
on mute,
don't.
Trey?
I don't.
Go ahead, Trey.
Oh, go ahead, Trey.
My bad. I was going to say, Melanie made some great points. The only thing that I would tweak is you said women are evolving. I would say, in most men's opinion, women have devolved instead, right? According to what men's standards are, right? So we got to call it what it is. Women move the goalpost, right? It's not that men have become objectively worse. There are some things that they could work on, but for the most part, they do the same things. They've always gone to work. They've always, men are loving, men are willing to take care of families. It's just that the standards have changed. So I understand that what women want, and there are very few men who possess what it is that women are demanding at this point, right? And you could look at it either way. If that's what you want, this is the only thing I would tell you, because those men do exist, but they're extremely rare. And most women have no idea, can't even fathom how rare those men are with these qualities where they can actually take care of you and a family and are loving and are considerate and know how to change a tire and still do manly shit. It's extremely rare to find a man like that. So if you understand that that's extremely rare, like anything else, right? If you were going for a job and you knew that there was only 2 positions open, you probably come with a way tighter resume. Women have felt like they've evolved enough to be able to qualify for those very few rare desirable men based on what's availability. It's really just supply and demand. And I know women don't really like to think of it like that, but it is what it is. It's the most pragmatic way to look at it. And if you were to think like that, then you'd probably be able to yield better results just by understanding it for what it is. But when you have emotions and just think that things are supposed to be a certain way, then yeah, you're gonna have problems.
I agree with you. I apologize. I agree with you, but when I said evolving, it wasn't a compliment.
Right? No, I get it. I wasn't a stab on it. I know what you're saying.
So Trev, if you're saying that,
I'm muted.
Oh, sorry.
We can hear you.
If you're saying that this is pretty much, women need to understand this, right? That it's very rare for a man to have these qualities, then what's the solution? What do you suggest?
The solution?
What do you suggest women do?
The women who desire those, you got 2 choices. Well, 3 choices. One, just stick with the I don't need a man, but don't worry about it. Don't gripe about it. Just sit on the sideline and stay out of the game. That's one choice, right? Your second choice would be to well, if that's an option for some. That's unfortunately the fate of some women, right? Some men too. So that's option 1. Option 2 would be more realistic about what you can actually obtain, right? Just like a man with money who has no depth and that's all he presents, he'll be able to attract a bunch of women. But obtaining and retaining men are 2 completely different things. And I don't think that those types of men understand that if you don't have any character, if you don't have any morals, you don't have any integrity, then you're not going to be able to retain most women. Women need to understand that beauty has the same issue. You will attract all the men, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to retain them, right? So, and the third option, if you don't want to deal with that and you absolutely demand one of these men, you're going to have to do better. You're going to have to become excellent. You're going to have to be everything that these men desire. They're going to have, would be your opinion of archaic. They're going to want a man who just a woman who kind of just takes care of the house. They don't really care for women who are making money or doing their own career. They want somebody who's going to be support and backing them up for the most part, right? There are some rare occasions where that is not the case, but good luck finding that guy. There are not that many out there. I think that if the main issue, if we were able to understand what's actually available to you in the real world, not social media, and what you can actually dig your claws into and keep, you have a better understanding of it and you'll better results.
So, I think that we have a very rigid perspective of things. I also think that we don't ask enough whys. Like we just blame women. We like, yeah, it's you. Y'all haven't done what you need to do as women to be wives. Why? Why does nobody ask the question of what happened? What happened that took our focus away from serving our men? What took men's focus away from serving women? Like nobody asks the why. We just are like, it's women. And so if you're constantly pointing fingers and not understanding the reality that we live in and not the reality that we made, because I say this all the time, I'm 45. I didn't do this. Like I didn't vote and say, I wanna go to work. I would, although black women have worked since we hit the soil. We have not stopped working. We have not had the luxury of just focusing on being wives. We just had to make it work because we had to contribute to the household in whole, in mass. So, this fantasy land of we need to get back to what we used to do, we're there. But as far as like women in general are concerned, what I didn't vote to be like we need to work and contribute to capitalism. No, I was born into this. I have to do this. So we we were born into we have to make a lot of money because one, the men are not marrying us. The men have not been marrying us for a long time. And it didn't have nothing to do with being a 304. That's just how it is. Because one, men don't want to marry because they don't have the money to marry. I've heard this. In my 20s, I'm not ready because I don't have, I'm not established. I don't have the money like that. And I want to be able to take care of my family. It's always money. So the men hadn't been marrying us for a while. And it ain't because we were 304s. It's because they did not have the means to marry. And a lot of them didn't want to build from scratch with a woman. They wanted to be able to take care of their woman at the onset. So one, we're not getting married. So we have to make our own way. We don't have time to go to school, be ambitious, work, because ain't nobody trying to take care of us, and be a wife. I can't focus on all of that at the same time. I mean, you can, but some people just don't have that capacity. So like there are so many variables to this. And and this is not all. This is just a perspective that I can think of. The reason why I have such a visceral reaction to hearing the no disrespect bullshit that I just heard is because nobody asks the why and nobody puts in any other perspective. It's such a women, men are doing the same thing we've always done. It's the women. Why? But the men have changed and focus on the why of that too. And maybe if we ask enough whys, maybe we can figure it out because it's not just being a 304. Hell, men been hoes this whole fucking time. And we ain't said shit to they dirty dick asses. So I'm just like, ask enough whys and we can get to a solution. No, you all want to point fingers and make women villains just because we like to have sex every once in a while. It just I just can't take the alleyway perspective. It's a one-way thing.
Well, the problem is there's a couple of things. One, men can't be hoes; they can be philanderers. Men create hoes. So that's the first one we got to start with. The second one is that you saying that y'all are doing the same thing. You're not, because again, our grandmothers knew how to shut the fuck up. And then two, they also knew how to tend to send one man, and they also knew they didn't use male attention like it was a financial currency. So you guys aren't doing the same thing. And then the only time the why matters is when you're the reason for the what, because you feel like you have to justify yourself. For example, if I came and said all of y'all, I said you are ugly. The only person who's ugly is gonna be the one that's offended to it because that's not who I'm talking to. So it's where like somebody walks in a room and you like, damn, it stinks in here. That person is going to be, I'm sorry, I just came from the gym, because they want to explain the why they stink. The why doesn't matter when we're talking about things in a general level. The fact of the matter is that the what still remains. It's not, somebody's opinion isn't rigid or bullshit just because you don't agree with it. And what I see a lot of women trying to do is they try to preemptively absolve themselves from responsibility for the things that they're getting ready to be addressed for. Example, women of older days, or back, if we took any of you women and put you guys 20 years ago, your life would be so much better, because you wouldn't be able to do the things you're doing right now to make your life ass. You guys would still be shamed for, again, collecting dicks like infinity stones. You guys would be shamed for going and saying that you don't need a man, because at the end of the day, the one thing that hasn't changed from the yesteryear to today is the good women get taken care of. The good women aren't having the issues, and mind you, you guys don't get to have no say about what qualifies you as a good woman. Men will always set that standard, because we're the ones who are doing the consuming in that market. So you can think that you're as valuable as you want to. You can think you're as special as you want to. But as long as the men that you feel that you want, the ones you genuinely desire, the one that puts your heartbeat, all of those men, until those men view you as the same, your value is what we say it is. And the only way you can increase your value is by doing the things that it takes for us to view you as valuable. A lot of the times we have people that'll say, it's not about us being hoes. That is one of the biggest things that affects the black community, is black female promiscuity, period. Because again, you guys get older and think that as you get older and collect more mileage, more damage, more baggage and experience, that it makes you more valuable, and it doesn't. There's no asset on earth that appreciates the value of use. If you can give me one, and mind you, anyone that you think of like a crock pot, a cast iron skillet, that's subjective. Nothing else. Nothing about you gets better the more you use it. And I say that not to be offensive to anybody, but it's just basic. It's basically the fact that you guys are trying to absolve yourselves from taking the easy route out. If you guys had higher standards, right? We said earlier, the standards are low. If your standards were higher, then you would meet higher standards, but you don't. Your standards are so low that, again, like you personally absolve women. Like, I like to have sex every now and then. We're not worried about the women who have sex every now and then. We're worried about the women that have had so much dick in them that they get stuck on the highest standards. So now they think that the best they've done, the rapper that they fucked, that they sucked his dick in the bathroom, they're thinking that every man they get with after that has to be equal to that man on every other level aside from his sexual performance. So that's one of the problems that we see, in that while I understand where you're coming from, the problem is that a lot of women don't have what it takes to even command the attention of the man they do, and it's because they choose not to, because they're lazy.
So
I
just want to hold on. I just want to understand. So how do you solve anything without understanding the problem, the root of the problem?
You're muted, Willie.
You're muted.
You can't solve something without understanding the problem, but no one's asking for solutions. They're asking for an explanation of they're asking for what is, for description of what. If we started having more conversations about solutions, these shows would be boring, because everybody up here will have a solution for something that they likely aren't doing themselves. And then two, the people wouldn't be able to connect with us, because again, once you put a solution in someone's face, then the onus to fix the thing is on them. Mm-hmm. So for example, if we were having a conversation, you told me, well, I can't get a man because of A, right? And then I give you a solution for A. Once you have the solution, you either have to go implement that solution or shut the fuck up. And unfortunately, women in our community don't want to not be able to complain. Complaining is how a lot of you guys bond. You guys trauma bond over niggas, which is wild to me. A lot of you guys, when you guys are given solutions, you literally just like y'all tell us, we don't always want you to solve the problem. Sometimes we want you to just listen. So you guys prioritize being victims and being heard over what's the opposite of a victim? Unbothered, unfucked with, and and validated. And that's the problem, because again, when you guys saying that, well, I have a problem with this, we give you solutions. You just don't listen to them. For example, we've given you guys a solution on how to find the husband right now. Find out what the man you wants for himself, like the man you wants for himself, and then go be that thing. No disrespect to any of the dozens of women on this panel, none of y'all have done it. The single women are still single. The women who are overfucked are still being overfucked. The women who are I don't need a man for shit still don't have men. And it's because you guys don't listen to solutions from the people that can give them to you. If I came to you and asked you about how to do something, if my issue was not getting sex, so as a woman, that's something that you control, that you have significantly more experience in giving sex than I would. So if I come to you and say, hey, what can I do to get more sex from women? What can I do to get more attention from women? And you tell me the thing that works with, we'll say the majority, because again, y'all swear y'all not a monolith, but y'all not also very different. But you tell me what works with the 90% to 80% of women, and you show me that it works. If I don't go do the same thing, then clearly I don't want to go have that issue solved. I just want to have the problem.
So we're just pointing fingers, no solutions.
No. These conversations aren't solution oriented.
Okay.
The first time that we have a solution oriented conversation, it won't be much said by most people because most people on these panels aren't solution oriented.
So I just
Fair.
I have a question. You said that if you were to ask women for, I guess, solutions to, I guess, be able to have more physical relations with other women, and they told you what that was, you would just do it and you would get that. And you compared that to women who, quote unquote, are being given the advice that they need to secure a husband and they're not taking it. There's no commitment in having multiple physical partners. So even if she gave you a list of 20 things, of course you're going to do the 20 things because what risk do you have? Because you're not committing to that person. You're not committing to those people versus expecting women to make such high sacrifices for, securing a husband, quote unquote, which we've seen time and time again that even women who do those things are not able to secure a loyal husband or a truly invested husband. So I don't understand how you drew the correlation between the two.
The
I
reason
think
why
you
you
missed
don't
the
understand the
point.
correlation is because of the assumption you made that you don't have to commit. If the woman doesn't tell me, if I ask for advice, a woman doesn't tell me that that's going to require you committing to a man, then that's on her because she didn't give me that advice. But when we tell you what it takes to be a man, we give you everything that you need to do. Shut up sometimes, and you guys take that as in being a slave and being silent because y'all are either emotionally retarded or intellectually lazy. We tell you that you need to be feminine, you need to take care of yourself, you need to be nurturing and supportive. We give you the things that the men you want to go do. And mind you, you can literally go ask a guy that you think is the most perfect man in the world and ask him, and if that man who'll tell you the truth, you still won't go do it because it requires effort on your part in large. So when I say that most women are lazy, this is why, because your current situation is a reflection of what you work for and what you deserve. So if you don't have what you want, it's because you haven't earned it.
Okay, again, you said it. I made the assumption that having multiple partners means there's no commitment. How is there a commitment for you if you're asking for a list of things to be able to gain physical relations with women, plural? Where's the commitment in that? How are you comparing that to the work that goes into what you're
Because
saying women have?
I'm not using the word commitment and monogamy or fidelity synonymously because those commit to more than one person. That's just what your relationship dynamic would be. So if I wanted to fuck 4 bitches and Bo told me to fuck all 4 of these bitches, you got to commit to them, then I will go say I'm committed to doing whatever it is that takes. Now, if one of those women says, if you want to have sex with me, you have to commit to me and you have to only be with me. And like you, she uses the word commit to be synonymous with monogamy. Then guess what? I would either have to do that or not fuck her. But again, what Bo gave me was a solution for women overall. So it's not going to work with every woman. But so if one woman requires commitment and the other 3 don't, why would I have to give them something they're not asking for?
Because it seems like you're looking for a woman, but women are looking for the husband.
No, I was looking for
There's
sex.
a difference.
I was looking for sex
Again,
from women.
Exactly.
From women, not one woman, from women.
So where's the risk? Where's the risk for you to
The
do
risk
those
of-
things that are on the list?
Oh, easy shit. You know how much work you have to do to be sexually desirable to a woman? Like, it's a lot. The risk is our time, our resources. Like, that's all y'all have to do is give us vagina. Like, sex isn't some value loaded exchange between a man and a woman when both women desire them. It's only a value loaded exchange when a woman is using that sex to gain access to that man's resources or to gain some type of other compensation, either physical, monetary, or attention wise.
And you're comparing that to the risk that women put in when they get married?
No, I didn't. You brought up risk when they put in to get married. I don't care about the risk.
Because
The
you're
question
claiming
was
because you
the
made the
solution
comparison.
based. I said if
Yeah.
you want to get married, you'll do what it takes to get married. The reason why you aren't is because you haven't. That's the overlying point.
So I love when these conversations come up in this manner because I hear you say that when you do what you need to do to deserve this relationship and stuff like that. And as someone with like that's why I do like when Bo said the why, because this is where it becomes the individual actually getting to know people, right? Versus the blanket statements that we do, of course. So that's where you get your whys a lot of times with interpersonal relationships.
Facts.
But then there's this moment where I sit back and I look at even my own personal life and I'm like, do you really get what you deserve when it comes to relationships though, for real, for real? I feel
Yes.
like there's things like degrees, there's things like losing weight, there's things that you put the work in, you get a result back. But relationships, I don't really believe they work in that simplistic way that we're trying to make it so like, oh, if you do this, you're gonna get that. I just don't believe
Can I
that. I really
respond?
truly don't.
So
I
the
think that
reason
you
why you don't believe it is because you haven't experienced yet, and that's one of the things that is a problem. If you listen to the guy you're with and says, "Hey," just ask him. Have you ever asked a man? Just flat out ask him, "What would it take for me to get? What would I need to give you for you to give me everything that I need?" Have you ever had that conversation with a man before that was honest with you and actually knew that he could be honest with you and not have to worry about being judged, shamed, ridiculed, or abandoned? Because until you have that type of open conversation with the man, you'll never experience it. Because you'll think that you're doing all the things right, but the same way that women aren't a monolith, neither are y'all. So 90% of the things that the men up here want from women are going to be the same. I got 10% different. I got 10% different. Dan got 10% different. Like, Dan, he got a bunch of female friends. That ain't my bag. So like we all have a few differences, right? But when you ask us in general, what we want is going to be the same thing. So, but what y'all do is y'all tend to literally say, okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to ask him. I'm going to do what I think a woman should be doing. I'm going to abide by what my definition of a good partner is. And so while you think that you're doing and operating at your optimum capacity, you're not. But again, no one up here has had this conversation with the man. And that's why. Because if you sit down and ask a man like, hey, listen, or I would say that maybe, you know what, I'll give it to you because you've been very, very good faithful about most of your conversations, that you wouldn't even ask, that most women haven't even asked a man like, hey, when they say I feel like I'm not getting X thing from you, they don't say why, or they don't say what would it take. They don't have curiosity. All they want to do is be vindicated in how they feel and then just get the thing. They don't ask, they don't look and do any research and say, okay, why are you not giving me this? Like, you might want more affection. You didn't realize until I'm not an affectionate person. So then that conversation isn't had. So you just go about being mad and saying I'm not affectionate and thinking that's like the end state without even giving me the opportunity to have that conversation with you.
I would say what you're saying is a fair assessment overall. I can agree to that because I can't go by my personal how I move. I know that's not the majority.
Facts.
So I do agree in that state that that's the conversation of men aren't mind readers, and I wish our communication lines between each other were better for sure. So I can't even disagree with you on that. And I can't go my own personal because I'm a very inquisitive person. I ask the why a lot. So I personally am like that, and I have had those conversations. But I know that's not the majority. So I definitely hear what you're saying though.
and I would say when it comes to I got a little echo. When it comes to what you deserve, right? That's an interesting way to put it. Let's say that I was the perfect man that you were looking for. I was everything that you were looking for, right? I'm curious what would allow you to deserve me if I was that man, right? And at what point do you think about what that man deserves?
Well, that's a matter of having conversations with, for one, I always say, start with yourself. That's my go-to for everything when it comes to these things. Start with yourself. And so I know who I am. So then when people also come towards me, I also know what I will not tolerate more so than anything. And then we have conversations about everything. I'm a person that will ask, even when I see like you get an attitude about something or something like that, I'm really good at getting to these pockets of finding out what's going on there. Like, why are you even upset with the way I said something? Someone said it was earlier, they didn't like the word better that I put within a statement. And I was like, well, why does that bother you? Like, why is that an actual issue? So when it comes to that, if I am presented with someone who I'm interested in that, looks like on paper good for me, I definitely will ask those deeper questions of like what that actually looks like for real in everyday life. And I think about that. And that's why I did like the clip that was going, because the more important thing, especially if you are trying to be with a man, I feel like it is important to know what his plan is, what his purpose is, what his vision is, so that you can see yourself within that and realistically think about what that looks like. And I think that's where the disconnect comes from too, is not realistically thinking about even the man, when you're saying the man of your dreams, realistically, there's a lot of people that will write a man down on paper, but would not want to actually live that life for the rest of their life, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, my just to wrap up my point. My point is that that man that you want, he has a woman that he wants. And I think that the most important thing for you to worry about is what is that woman that he wants. And if you even align with that man. A lot of times we worry about what we want and stuff like that. And oh, I deserve this. Let me put in do this, that, and the third. But yeah, that man wants a certain type of woman. So I would always say, find out the archetype of that man that you want and just inquire to that particular type of man. Like, yo, what do y'all look for in a woman? You know?
So I think it sounds good. Sounds real good. But that's easier said than done. To I've had these conversations with men. I'm always on these, panels. We have these conversations all the time. So, and I may be wrong, but I think I do fit the standards just a little bit. I shut up. I'm submissive. I do, I'm almost there. But I'm still single. So I run into guys that are used to women not being that way, right? So a lot of men, I could be wrong, but some men think that you're putting on a show or a front, or and that's not the situation, right? So for them to really open up and really, give you that chance or that time or whatever the case may be, they're still holding back because they feel like, okay, this, can't be real, right? Like, so I think that's just, it sounds good. I would love to just have my dream man, but it's not that easy.
But you said that you had
Parents.
these
Oh,
conversations with men on panels and not the men you're meeting in real life. So that would go to show that you're not having a conversation with the men that matter. Because again, unless somebody on the panel is on the panels you're on is trying to be that man and is your ideal man, talking to them is fruitless. The ones that you see in real life, those are the ones that have this conversation with. And you're right. A lot of us will think that it's a show because again, the average woman doesn't have the things you do. So, and when people are used to the average, they're used to the thing they explore or they encounter the most. So, a guy running into you would need to then, it's on him, has nothing to do with you personally, but it's on him to be patient and then have the discernment and the intelligence to understand how to vet you properly. And to vet a woman that is showing you those things, we start to believe things when we experience them consistently over time. So, that would probably be the only area where you're having an issue, that you're just not doing it with the niggas in real life.
And Paris, you know what you
So
could do? Ask them, what do you want a woman to bring to the table? Just ask them that next time.
that's a good question because I've never been asked that, but to ask that, I like that. But so I have had these conversations with guys in real life, right?
Your
I just
romantic
brought up
interest.
the
Sorry. I mean,
huh?
I'm sorry. I should have been more specific. I'm talking about the guys that you're interested in romantically.
Right. So I have like I'm really good with communication, right? um I've had conversations like this because we talk about relations and how this is the dating game is so hard to find what you're looking for, genuine people, X, Y, and Z. So I've had conversations like that before with guys that that I'm interested in or whatever. I don't know. I don't
This
know.
is not something that we prioritize in our prime, because really this is something that we should be pursuing in the height of our value, and we don't. So sometimes when we're saying, why am I not getting it now? It's the same reason why you didn't want to prioritize it in your prime. He's now in his prime and he wants something younger, better, and not as touched. Also, on the reason why we don't try to find solutions, it's because accountability is kryptonite to women. As soon as you start holding women accountable, they feel like it's an attack on them rather than listening to understand and wanting to bring about a change.
So yeah, I was married for 15 years, so I was that and in my prime. So the thing is, everybody have, if you're single, you encounter different relationships, different experiences. So when you are dating or you're, seeking someone, you're subconsciously taking those experiences with you. So what the next woman did to somebody else, they're going to be looking at me like, okay, do I see any of those signs? Now, if they don't see the signs, they're like, okay, is she covering up? And is, that's her true nature. She just putting on this front. So there's a lot of different obstacles you come across when you're in the dating. Has nothing to do with who I was in my past.
But you've been married and divorced, so you technically wouldn't qualify for what you're discussing because you
You're
were
right.
married. Yeah.
I would like to explore this word deserve. Um, I often hear women use that word, and being as how I've never been a woman, I sometimes get a little confused on where this comes from, right? So I'll give you my basis of where my question comes from because I think the men understand this. Willie says it a lot. You get what you deserve based on what you earn. And I think that because we live very different lifestyles, the world is not open to us like it is to you guys, in all facets. Now we're men, but we have to cultivate every aspect of, how would I say, experiences that we have, right? Um, I'll just ask Paris. I'm picking on you, Paris. It's fine. I know you can handle it. So I know you've said a couple of shows ago, you were like, well, we're women, and we were talking about something particular. And I can assume what you mean by that. But if you're conjuring up your ideal man, um, and you're thinking about you and maybe women alike, like you, how does a woman decide what she deserves? Just off bat.
Yeah, that's a good one. So I can speak. It's an echo. What's that mean? We good? Okay. I can speak for myself. Reason why I can say what I deserve is because I know what I'm willing to put in, right? I know what I'm willing to mold and conform to. So, and I also know that I am different. I'm not what people encounter on an average. So I would say I'm not average. And the reason why I say that is because I have no restrictions, no restraints, no pushback from molding into being everything that that man desires me to be. And that's why I'm deserving of a certain type of treatment or person because of my willingness to be who I need to be for him.
Would you say you know 25 women like you as far as temperament and the willingness to conform, mold, align?
Obey, submit.
25. Can we family? Other than that, no, I don't.
Okay, the reason why, and again, thank you. Again, I find this very interesting, especially with the word deserve. And this is why I say women don't date, they participate. A woman will never know what it's like to have to earn a man. What happens is that, and this is why I go hard in this space, Willie and men alike, right? You guys get the privilege of us giving you value because we want to give you value. You don't earn anything. You're attractive enough. So we give you access to us. Your earning starts when you enter into our space. Now, what keeps you and maybe what promotes you is your value. The problem is that a lot of women really can't decipher between casual and progression. and this is why so many women are single, they can exist in a man's world. He likes you enough to hang, casual. But what happens naturally, and this is what I think because you guys pick us based on what you believe you deserve, which is fair, you go into it thinking, I'm going to get what I want. I'm going to acquire the value, attraction, whatever, right? But I don't ever see, like you're saying, Paris, women who are actually, like Willie said, have you sat with that man, spoken to that man, and ultimately been like, what do I need to do to earn you? What do I need to do to align with you? Because you know why women don't do this? Because that requires humility. Women in this country don't see it that way. They think you deserve somewhere, don't know what they got it from, but they really do think I'm a woman. Like you said a couple of episodes ago, we're women. There's this mindset. That's why a lot of women are single, and they will remain single because the one thing that you guys really royally screwed up is the only thing you had was chastity at a time. You had a society that maintained and ran because we had to take care of you. But once you guys decided that you no longer want those provisions, all you did is make it easier for men to gain the very thing that has maintained your value so long, which has been physicality, sexuality. So until there's going to be an overcorrection of women wanting to arrive and give men their life, it's going to continue to be this way, in my opinion. I often struggle with why women think you get a man that's 6'4", makes $1 million a year, a demon in the sack, got dimples, and you're 192 pounds. You got one arm shorter than the other. You don't grow your own hair, but you deserve this great guy. It's blasphemous. So I think women need to really find some humility, and I think some things will change. And I'll land.
Well said.
If we think that women are going around looking for just, and that might be the written on paper thing, and I hear that being the general consensus. If we actually look around and see who people are actually entertaining, dating, being with, that's not even how this really works for real. And so that's why when we had these conversations, it exhausts me sometimes, because there's clearly plenty of people going around, and then also people don't always match up with people who they look like they should be with either. So there's a lot of that going on. So sometimes when we have this conversation, I'm just like, here we go again. And I think deserve is a word that shouldn't be used in this context of like relationships with people. Because it goes into the space of, so we don't deserve companionship, we don't deserve love. Like I think about the layers of that, like saying the deserving part. And it honestly makes me feel a little sad and makes me just be like, I want to go back into just like being the hermit again. And I think that's because I'm coming into this space of like, oh, what y'all been doing over here for so long? Like y'all been over here doing this since y'all were teenagers. Oh, what y'all got going on? And I'm coming in all late in the game, like, oh, hey guys, hey everybody. Like, hi, I'm Tiffany. How y'all doing? You know, I like to do this and I'm that, and you know what I want to know more about you. And then I'm getting bombarded with, they've been doing this since some people 8 years old, some people since they were teenagers. And they have just been beaten down, beaten down, beaten down. And if you say something like, I'd like to date you, automatically it goes to money, where it's like, I just want to spend, in my mind, I want to spend time with you. So there's a lot of craziness going on. And it just makes me feel like, oh, hearing the word deserve also just makes it like this thing of like, is there really a goal to get at this point that you can attain, that you can actually get to realistically? You know
Let's
what I'm
get Bo
saying?
on there. You ready, Bo?
The most disgusting thing that I hear people tell a human tell another human is something that they don't deserve. Unless you have committed murder, grape, or something like really terrible in life, who are you to tell somebody what they don't deserve? Like, I don't like when people do that. I think my brain works a little different than a lot of people. People make responses to society, responses to their environment, character flaws, and mistakes. Character flaws. They're not always character flaws. People have to make mistakes to learn. Who the fuck tells somebody because they made a mistake that they are undeserving of something? People are deserving of anything that they want. Whether they get it or not is another thing. But you can't tell somebody that they don't deserve something because of a mistake. I'm sorry that a lot of you are so perfect that you don't make mistakes, that you did everything right the first time, and that you're so deserving of all of the things because you never made a mistake. But to tell another human that they are undeserving. There are so many people out here marrying and being with so many other people that the closed-minded people on the internet think are undeserving. Somebody would think that I was undeserving of being married the first time because I was a stripper. Yeah, that man married me and he knew all of that. Because I did that when I was 18.
But Bo, I think a lot of it is not to cut you off or anything, but I think a lot of it is people are entitled in a sense. I'm sorry.
I'm just fucking with you. I'm just fucking with you. Jay. Go ahead.
What'd you say?
I'm just fucking with you. Don't. I'm just playing. Don't.
I didn't even hear you.
I agree with entitlement.
So they think that they're deserving just because somebody makes a mistake. And I'll just go to like the most elementary thing. You know, you're taking a test and you make mistakes on your test and you don't get a good grade. So it doesn't mean that you deserve that. You're not deserving of the A. So like the thing is, people aren't putting into work. So what do? You go back and study. You work harder. And so that's the issue with like people won't even. They're not even qualified or deserving to date themselves. They haven't even done the work themselves.
I understand that. But you have to make mistakes. You go through life learning lessons. And how do you learn a lesson? You have to make mistakes. That is how. Or you can listen to other people.
I got you.
Some people do not learn other. Some people don't learn like that.
So
some people do not.
So quickly, it's saying that it's. Who are you to say who you deserve? Men are we give access to relationships, so we
I
are
wasn't
the
talking
ultimate.
about a man.
No, I'm giving you examples of why that logic doesn't. It only applies to the one thing you're talking about, and that's not. And it's only that one thing is your opinion. It's not the actual situation at hand. You disqualify men from you by saying and they don't deserve you because they haven't done the work. Maybe they're healed. Maybe they don't take care of themselves. Maybe they don't have good communication skills. Those are all things you can do to disqualify yourself from deserving a person. Connection and love is not a basic human right, nor is it a basic human need. It's a privilege. So, and then again, you earn the things you deserve. For example, you earn the certificates and the degrees that it takes for you to have the profession that you have. You earn those. Right? If you hadn't met the requirements and the prerequisites for those certificates and diplomas, you wouldn't have achieved them. You didn't earn them. It's no different in life. The difference is the unspoken part is that there are certain things you're going to have to do in order to get the outcome you want. And it's called earn it. And the problem is that women in large seem to feel entitled, like you just said, which is what I feel like that was rooted in was entitlement. Because you said that the only way you can learn, I got you. The only way you can learn is through making mistakes. That's not true at all. That's one way of learning. And that's what people who've made a lot of mistakes tend to do best. For example, though, if a woman is saying that you shouldn't judge me for my mistakes is because she's made a lot of mistakes. But then we'll say there's other women who didn't make those mistakes. You're not as good as that person is. I mean, to make it a personal example. If a dude, you're trying to date two dudes and you found out, again, one of them used to suck dick and one of them didn't. He made a mistake in your eyes. Because now they're both equal aside from one never sucked dick before, the other one has sucked a dick or two. You are going to tell that man that he does not earn you. He has not earned you. He has not done what it takes or not done what it takes to earn your affection because again, he sucked the dick before and that's just something that's a disqualifying factor from you. So for most men, as you said, like one, being a stripper, that's wild. Got it. Two, didn't know, awesome. Like I'm saying that you actually aren't the girl who's a stripper young that's still fucking 30 years old and stripping. So thank you for breaking that cycle. But the way that you say that, like you're saying that men shouldn't have, we have criteria that you actually have to meet in order to earn us, to earn our commitment, to deserve our good treatment, to deserve all the privileges that come with having a man of the caliber that whoever your dream man is, you have to deserve him. And the way that you deserve those men are by not doing a lot of things. So cool, you had a guy who felt like, okay, the stripper part wasn't easy, right? So most men wouldn't be able to deal with that. You had a guy that could, right? Awesome. But that wasn't your dream guy. That was a guy that worked for you then. If you went back and said, okay, who is my ideal guy? Had that conversation with him, like, hey, none of those guys are going to say that stripping is not something that will disqualify you from putting my last name on you. Today, right now, most men wouldn't say that's something that doesn't disqualify you from their long-term affections. So the mistakes you make, unfortunately, seriously, the amalgamation of your choices. So a lot of those things that you know have been a mistake are definitely what's going to disqualify you from certain things. Felons can't go get guns. Felons can't have security clearances. Pedophiles shouldn't be near schools. Pedophiles can't be on social media. So they have all done these things that disqualify them from something. And so when we're telling people that you're disqualified from something, there is a pre-existing list of requirements and prerequisites that you have to meet. You guys don't even ask the men you're dating what theirs are. And not saying you specifically, just saying women in general.
I think you were so a lot of what you said, I said that people can want whatever they want. And I get entitlement.
You said people deserve whatever they want, and that's
deserve
not true.
whatever they want. They do. They deserve whatever it is they want. Wait. But after that, I said, now what they get, if they don't get it, they don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't always get what you think you deserve. I get that.
You get what you work for.
Exactly. I know that. That's what I'm saying. But those who have done that work, those are the ones that usually get those results. But all I'm saying is, I just be like, validate. Listen, whatever you want, whatever you think you deserve, it's valid. I don't be telling people that they don't deserve stuff. That's all I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, you're not gonna always get it, and that definitely has to be a reality in your head. But it's you're divorced, so you don't deserve the fuck. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't tell somebody that because you don't know their life experiences. You don't know the work that they're doing. You don't know the work that they've done. You don't know anything about these people. And just because, like, people disqualify people that don't know shit about another person, disqualify them because they know one thing about their past. They don't know who the fuck they are and how they operate in real life.
Because to them, that one thing is enough to disqualify them. Against why I use such a hyperbolic example of the man that sucked a dick before. If you found out a guy you were talking to and you dating him, getting along, and found out that he used to, give a mean two-hand twist to the homies, you are not fucking with him. Like, none of y'all are.
I would be a hypocrite if I did.
You can literally do. There's several things that someone can do that disqualifies them from something. The problem is, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but you don't want a nigga who suck better dick than you. Like, I would hope that you take pride in your craft. So again, you can definitely disqualify people. But when we're talking about relationships, the person that can disqualify you is the man you want the relationship from. He absolutely should. And so should you. The men who want to fuck you, you should disqualify them for a bunch of things. If they don't meet your requirements, disqualify them. If they're not willing to commit to you as exclusively to restoring point earlier, disqualify him if that's what you want. But we're saying that men don't have the ability or shouldn't be disqualifying people for something is just it's not only unrealistic, it just doesn't make sense logically.
We gotta get Pearl in there too. Pearl, you what you got on?
Hey, y'all. So I was listening. I was trying my best. So I was taking some notes. So I wrapped it up, and so we definitely have to acknowledge. Can y'all hear me good? All right, cool. Definitely got to acknowledge the lack and loss of the community and accountability. I think y'all started talking about that earlier, and that's why I kind of cut off. So I took a note about that. The non-existence of our cultural norms. We still don't have those that we all respect and the bad. We talk about it, but it's not there. We have inter-group discord we don't talk about. We could barely have conversations without people doing ad hominems and taking unnecessary jabs. That is not going to get us to where we need as far as like commonalities and general consensus, because there's like underlying disrespect. There is a difference between presence and value. I think that's what you guys are arguing about, the deserving versus entitlement, like self desire versus deserving. Like if I'm self deserving about something, that could be rooted in me being shallow, surface level, like lack of work. I think what people are saying with deserving is more discipline and results based. You can literally, honestly disqualify yourself. We do it from, that's just our system of meritocracy. We do it all the time. I think sometimes we don't want to accept the fact that we are disqualified from certain things. Hey, it is what it is. Standards versus your unrealistic desires. We got to have a conversation about that long-term singlehood versus polygamy, which I might not be ready for that. Social media domination, like what you see is not always reality, or it's at least not your reality. Stop watching so much. When I think about relationships, I think about like attraction, chemistry, compatibility, and connection. And I think a lot of us are just lost in that attraction sauce, and we try to jump to a long-standing connection, and we forget the chemistry and the compatibility, because that's where the conversations, like True was saying, the humility, that's where the realization that you don't qualify. That's where you keep doing things like, am I deserving? Am I not? You keep performing, but you haven't asked the person that you're performing for if they even enjoying the act. So it's just a lot of that. You're just scared to have these conversations, and we had these conversations over and over again. I think we kind of say the same things, just in a different way. I honestly believe it's the difference between us. Yes, we do both. I was like, you talking about me, you talking about something else. Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk about you. I'm sorry.
There is a difference between mistakes versus like intentional ignorance and consistent stupidity. Like we all get that one time. But when we like constantly doing the same things, come on now. We gotta hold ourselves accountable. I get what both sides are saying. I'm just trying to be fair. Let me see if I put something else down. I think I kind of left it at that. I'm gonna land up.
Village.
Sorry.
Village.
I saw that real dope daddy or whatever in the chat wanted to go, so you can go ahead first.
Oh, you said you let me go?
Yeah.
Okay. Bo, did Willie clear that up for you about the deserve thing? Are you good on that, or you still have the same belief you had before?
Yeah, I think we agreed more than he think we did, because I think I was saying some of the same things that he was saying. But yeah, it's clear.
Okay, so you it's okay sometimes to people don't deserve just things just because they say they do. You good on that?
I think that people need to accept if they do not get what they think they deserve. I just don't think that it's up to us to tell them what they don't deserve. Let the people who are dealing with them do that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, because there's a difference between the verbiage of what somebody thinks they deserve. Cool, you can think you deserve whatever you think you deserve.
People are entitled, yeah.
Yeah. But I do think deserving something means that you like there should be something that like a criteria, you know. So when we talk about deserving another person, it's like different from saying like, all right, I deserve a car if I can afford it, right? If I made the money to get the car, I deserve it. However, deserving a person is much different. Like you need to be what that person is looking for. I don't know, but we can move past that.
People tend to get upset about hearing what they don't deserve because they don't qualify for it. So if you're unable to sit with yourself and realize you don't qualify for it, you're upset about not deserving it. It's really that simple. And we're being selfish because there are people that deserve it. So you should just get out of the way and let the people that actually should have it. It's not you. The end.
I don't think that the issue is that some women feel like they deserve it when they don't. I think the issue is that people have a problem with other people having certain standards, whether we think that they're worthy of it or not. I think it's just the fact that they have the standard to begin with that's the problem. And that's what I hear in a lot of conversations, especially when we talk about what men are looking for and what women are looking for, is like some people are offended at what they believe is quote unquote the audacity. But if that's what they have as far as their standards go, like Bo said, if they're going to get it is not really, going to be the reality of the situation. But they can put whatever they want on, whatever criteria they're asking for somebody to meet. I think it's
Have
just
the
that people
standard
get
before the
offended.
mistakes.
What
You
is
should
that?
have that standard before you make all of those mistakes because you no longer qualify.
Well, Melanin,
Have what standard?
I think this word standard is wrong. That's not the word to be using here. Nobody cares about what your standards are, because if you don't live up to your own standard, and it's not a standard, it's just an ideal. It's an aspiration. When we're saying that people don't deserve something, it's something that they've worked that you haven't worked for. And if you haven't done the work for the thing, you don't deserve it. Bo has to go get it. No, matter of fact, Pearl, she's a teacher. She had to go get a bunch of degrees, certificates, time, training, all these other things to become a teacher. Swirl comes, Miss Swirl comes along, doesn't have to go get those same degrees, same certificates, same training. She doesn't deserve the same position that Miss Pearl earned. Like those, it's not the. This is only a conversation that we will have about what's being deserved and earned, and we have to explain literally what the words mean. Like deserve is a verb that means you're qualified for something you've earned that are deemed worthy of. Like we only have to have these conversations in this space. And now I feel bad because I agree. If we had the why conversation, we wouldn't have got to this part. Because now a solution would be, if you want something, earn it. It's simple. And it seems like there's way too much pushback from functional adults about what is earned. Like everybody wants to be the something, but they don't want to do what it takes to be the thing. All that goes to prove is that you just want to be, you don't want it that bad. It's a nice idea. Women, I don't want to be a wife. I don't want a marriage. I want to be a wife. I don't want to be a businessman. I don't want to do what it takes to be a businessman. I just want to be rich. I want to have all the money in the world without doing the work. I don't want to be a wife. I want to have a husband so that way he can alleviate the burden of being an adult off of my shoulders. Like women who literally, you get what you earn in life. If you don't get it in life, it's because you haven't done the work. I'll say 99 times out of 10. Not gonna say all of them, but there's always a niche case where somebody has done the work and didn't get the thing because they died or caught cancer or some other random story that y'all finna use to make up to try to disprove that point. But if you don't get it, you haven't earned it. That's all it is. Like, how many women do you know say, you know what? I wish that, do you think it's, why they make shit like body shapers and stuff like that? Because it's easier to contort and hide your body than it is to go get in shape. And people want the easy route. They don't want to go earn it where they can just have it when they get out the morning. Or guys, you know how, if we had it that easy, you know how many of us would have like perfect beards and full heads of hair? If we could go take the easy route and put a hair helmet on. But the reason is that our society has made it to where you guys can get things you don't deserve. And now you have an inherent sense of entitlement where you don't even know what the word deserve means.
Yeah. And the pushback. And the pushback in my.
Oh no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think Bo's the main reason that she took this position is because of the divorce thing. I do think that at the same time, you do hear a lot of ridiculous things on the internet, like that whatever they saying you don't deserve because you got divorced. That sounds ridiculous to me. I think you deserve what you qualify. Like if the niggas is choosing, they choosing, right? No, nobody about to tell you that you don't deserve a man if the man is choosing you, right? If you can still get men, then you deserve whatever, them if they choosing, right? So you can tell me, oh, you got kids out of wedlock. Like, nigga, suck my dick. These bitches is choosing still. And I get more women than you. What's up? Right? So I deserve them if that makes sense. So yeah.
Yeah, but that would be him picking her, right? Most of the time we just hear women say, I deserve. If he chose you, he chose you. But that level of entitlement about what you deserve, like there's no history behind it, is I think what I'm talking towards more.
Because a lot of people get shit they don't deserve. Like we know that with lottery winners, most NFL wives. Like a lot of people get things they don't deserve simply because a man chose them. Like earning a man's choice, it would be your best bet because again, the things that you want in life tend to come off of the backs of men. The things, the protection, the peace, all those other things. Like unless you're like one of these carpet munching, raging feminists, everything that you need in life is typically going to come off of the back of a man. Because while you don't need a man, women don't need men, to survive, but you absolutely need one to thrive. Because when you look at the numbers of what single women are doing compared to what married, kept good women are doing, y'all are getting y'all asses kicked.
I think you got a point. However, like a lot of them, like even the NFL moms, a lot of them, they ain't really do much to get their son to the NFL, right? They just
No, I'm talking about the wives.
yeah, the wives too, right?
Okay,
The
not
wives and all
moms.
that type
The
of
moms
stuff.
is different. I leave them
If
alone.
it's just one time, you can get lucky. But if this is consistently you meeting these type of guys, it is what it is.
I still think the pushback lies in the energy that men maybe at a time, pre-YouTube, pre-social media, weren't able to convey to women in mass that we have standards. This is almost like a new thing. Women generally do not believe we're human. They believe we're here for them, and that's wrong because they're actually here for us. But they don't believe that, and that's the issue. And that's what you see the energy in exchange. It's like men are not designed by nature to solely exist for women. I think that's what was the original clip.
Oh, you're glitching, True.
For all humans. Am I? Jesus Christ, man! I've been
Yeah,
quiet this whole time too. Like,
sorry.
Am I here? Am I here? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay, all right. I think right now we're experiencing more conversations that are starting to open up the why, the question, like what Bo was saying. Am I here? Am I glitching?
No, you're good now.
You know what, Bo? I'm a host. I think one of my, aside from my like business and finance panels, I'm gonna host a solution panel, and it's gonna be called "Let's Get to the Why." Thank you for the idea.
And pay me my money.
Motherfucker, I got 200 followers. My page is not mine. You know what? I'll do it on Instagram then.
Wait, but are you
want-
deserving?
Since I don't deserve
Yeah,
it.
because I was the one who birthed the idea.
Well, YouTube doesn't feel that I deserve monetization yet. So until then, I'm just gonna go back to Instagram where it's safe. So I'll have it over there. But JR said he's got a clip that he wants to show. So I think we're at a good stopping point for that segment of the conversation. Let's see what he got for us.
Hey, I don't think True was done yet.
Oh, my bad. True, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. True wasn't done yet. True.
No, True froze right now.
Oh, there he is right there. True.
Hey, you look like an 8-bit Nintendo character, bro.
Man, he been struggle streaming since so whatever movie he did, man. His internet was shot. Let me see. Are you good?
Okay.
True.
I'm here.
You
okay,
in
you want
1080p
to go ahead
now.
and finish what you were saying?
Oh no. We good. We can move on.
Okay. Get to these super chats real quick.
Do you know your screen is back, JR? Black? Oh, there we go.
Hey, first of all, how you make your screen do like the dramatic ass unblacking? Like mine just cuts off and on. Your shit like fades from off to on.
You gotta sign up for the Patreon, man.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair.
No, I'll tell you, man.
All right. That shit was crazy. My shit, look, when I hit the camera, you just go straight boom. And it's a damn near violent how fast it cuts my shit off.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Logic, man. Logic was the one that
Get your ass out.
That's the first time I seen it. Mr. Logic. But Gold Coin, Christopher Matthews, 10 jewels. I still don't even know what this even is.
Jewels are money.
Okay. Jody. 777, 440 jewels. Uncle Alert, thank you.
What the fuck are
Official
these
Mama
jewels?
G with the 2 jewels, Silver Star. Johnny K, 10 jewels, Gold Coin. I feel like I'm on Mario Brothers or something. Construct Icon with the 10 jewels, Happy Poop. Official Mama G with the 2 jewels, Silver Star. My Mere Thoughts, 5742, 499. Your real life outcomes will reveal what you do and don't deserve, ma'am. Construct Icon, 199. 3/4 of cloth, never showing your stuff off, boo. Prayer hands emoji. Mere Thoughts, 5742, 499. Real men know we don't deserve a damn thing. Women should get on board. 100 emoji. Prophecy to Savior, $20. Deserve means you have a right to, or to earn something because of your actions, behavior, or qualities. So, do you believe every man and woman have the right to every man or woman they want without earning them? Earn, keyword. FK with the 440 jewels, Uncle Alert. And we have Bougie Reacts, $10, Melanie, and so on. So I got a simp. Blessing, True, and Willie also deserve 20 baddies who don't need their bills paid.
Hey, Boogie.
Yeah. There's a lot of people.
Boogie funny as shit, man.
He is. He was on the other night with me and Tommy. It was fun.
Boogie got the melanin alert. Anytime you go live, Boogie pull his car over and set up his shit so he can start super chatting and watching. I like Boogie. He a good dude.
All right. Let me get y'all thoughts about what he had to say here.
Men are not married because they waiting to be a wife. Some men waiting to be a wife.
What y'all thinking?
Look at all the man haters in the chat. They finna really like that one. Because anytime a dude comes up here and says something that's anti-man, the hyena bitches and feminists love it.
So he said the men are trying to be wise. What y'all think?
What does that even mean?
I
guess I think I know what it means by.
I think that he. Sorry, go ahead.
Is anybody
Based
speaking? I
on the
can't hear anyone.
context of
Is
things
someone
that I've
talking?
heard on the internet, maybe I think I know, because I hear and see a lot of women saying on the internet, "Who gonna be the women? Who gonna be the wives?" And I'm just like, personally, I feel like men deserve to act like they're human. Like, I think that women hold men to an unreasonable standard because of the toxicity of masculinity. I think that thinking that men should never say how they feel, thinking that men don't deserve to rest, thinking that men just don't deserve to be human in general is detrimental. And it's partly why a lot of these men have cardiovascular issues, although it's inherently biological, but it doesn't make it better. The stress, the all of the things. So, like, I think that men deserve to not be treated like shit and expected to just be a robot and dish out money and take care of us, and then we do nothing. So, like, I think I get it, but I think that it's stupid to say, because men want to be men, but men also want to be human. And I can't expect for a man to see me as human, having a whole human experience, and I also not grant them that same respect. So I think that people need to stop doing that, calling men sassy and gay and who gonna be the wives, and I don't really like that.
I personally, I didn't take it that way. I just felt like a lot of the, I guess, qualities that come along with being a wife, like, having that expectation of quote unquote being chosen or being chased, or um, you know, those types of things that for the most part a lot of women are the receivers of. I feel like, in my opinion, men are now putting themselves in positions to want to do that. They want women to kind of chase after them and show them, commitment, so on and so forth, so that they're chosen, versus, men being the pursuers, again, for the most part.
How I interpreted what was being said was kind of somewhat of what is being seen at some points, where it's like some men are sitting in this space of being taken care of. And I know we talk about men being tricks all the time, but I've seen plenty of women just go through hoops and spend money and time and all kinds of things on men. And I think it's that, like, it's like the flip of, I guess, the dynamics are happening, where it's like, well, if y'all got the money and degrees and you know everything, well, treat me like that. And it's not necessarily they want to be the wife in the context of like being the woman per se, but I guess in that manner of being provided for in that in that manner of like even like getting things or being taken care of in certain ways where it's like there's plenty of people what are called homosexuals, like where it's like, they're like, all he got is penis, so he's there getting taken care of, kind of like, I think that's more so what he was tapping on. That's how I interpreted what he said personally.
Do we have a term for loser women?
No.
Yes.
Yes, it's a bum.
Birds.
I've heard that before. Not
Yeah.
one
It's
person,
what?
but
It's a what?
It's but so like you can't say it because all loser women aren't the thing. Like I make it a clear discern. I don't call it's two things for me: women and bitches. So some women can be losers, but we call loser women bum bitches. So I don't want to refer to the women losers as bum bitches because they're not bitches. When bitches is a very clearly defined thing for me.
Well, on this show that you develop on the why, we need to come up with a term for loser women.
For the loser good women?
I mean, not just loser women, period. Like,
Yeah, just call them
there
loser
are some
chicks.
loser women.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I got you. Well, we can't call, but if you call losers, like I'm trying to think how to word this without offending like the male feminists in the chat. Most guys won't qualify to call a loser woman a loser because you can only call a woman a loser if she's doing worse than you in life. And unfortunately, the same, like Bo just said, right? Bo has this thing about men with limp penises, guys. So before you shoot your shot, make sure your shit works. The thing is, right? She says the
Keep
men over
that heart
35
healthy.
Yeah, she's real big on heart health, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but you say men at 35 suffer from these things, and not all of them do. It's a small few, but again, what for men though, you know what happens with women over 35? The same beer belly that she says the men have, they have that with a matching double chin and another nigga's kids. So both sides struggle with things as they get older. But when you start calling women losers, you open yourself up to critique. And a lot of men won't be able to survive or to make it out of that critique with their critique of that woman intact. Because a loser nigga calling a loser bitch a loser doesn't really make sense. That's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, this nigga up here that just had that video pandering to women but not having muscles. Like he's going the Deontay Kyle route, like where I can just look like whatever I want to and then pander to women and think they're gonna still support me because I'm built like them. That's what he did, and that's why it was so sensational what he said. Like, and it's a lot of people doing that now. We got a lot of fitness influencers that aren't fit, but they're talking about, hey, let me show you how to do chest pec flies. Like, it's a lot of that out now where people are trying to talk about things that they're not subject matter experts in, and their lives don't reflect that they would even have the ability to be or have never been successful at that thing. Kind of like single women talking about relationships.
I was gonna say something on them, but I'm gonna let them one slide.
What? Hey, wait, real quick. I'm not talking about y'all specifically, because when I am, I say your name just to be fair. But unfortunately, y'all do have vaginas, so you might align with what I'm talking about. But again, if that's the case, then only a hit dog will holler. So
Say what you want to say, Paris. I
I
want to
was
hear
about
it.
to holler, but it's not feminine to holler, so
you really can't holler though, Paris. Like you could choose to just because but you really don't need to. Like the cool part about it is I'm gonna say women because I don't think that, again, all of them are bitches. But the women who should be hollering don't come on the panel. Well, anymore. I ran the other ones off. But the ones who don't, like, they stay in the chat and don't super chat shit. So like if you come on the panel, you're probably not the person I'm talking about.
So we was trying into the video, right? He said the men are not married because they want to be the wife. That's what he said.
Mhm.
I think that's very hyperbolic. I'm curious what his reasoning was. Of course, I got a lot of criticisms of the way a lot of men is. We do a lot of tit for tat stuff. I don't like that. I don't like how we come in these spaces and it's just always about the women. Like it's not like, because I do believe in like leadership, and I do believe in responsibility. And even when it's just a good leader, it's just like you always gonna figure out what you can do better, and it's just like they never trying to think about that. Even if other people got fault too, and you coach them how to do better, but it's like, what can I also do better? How can I be better for you? What am I doing wrong? I tell people the story all the time when I worked my old job, and it was a long time ago. I was younger, and I wasn't doing well, and I got a report from my manager. He sat down with me. He was like, "Yo, what can I do to make you better?" He said, what can I do to make you do better at this job?" And that just confused the hell out of me back then. But I understand now, like, how good leadership that was. He's like, "Yo, I know that I can come up here and try and, point at everything that I think you're doing wrong, but how can I be better for you?" And I thought that was, that was eye-opening to me. So.
Ooh, arrest me, daddy.
Whoa.
I feel like it was pandering and clickbait. He got what he wanted, which was female accolades, and I land there with that.
You know what else I just realized is that I'm never going to film content without a haircut. That's also not something I'm gonna do. I don't want my most viral clip to be with me looking crazy. Like, that's wild. Like, we give women a hard time about how they present themselves to the world. If you making intentionally short form content that's a video that you have to, you can edit and shit, like, not this live stuff. Like, y'all getting dressed up for live is commendable, but I think it's just because we're black and that's what y'all do when y'all go somewhere, you get dressed. But to go record a video, you know what I'm saying, 6-7 weeks in between haircuts is wild. Like, take some pride in yourself, my nigga. Like, that, what are we doing? And then two, you pandering to the bitches. Like, women like niggas with haircuts. I heard, like, women like dudes who, don't necessarily represent themselves that way publicly, because women check everything from you having bottom lashes to all this other shit, and then you just don't have the audacity to come up here without a haircut and then start talking bad about niggas. All right, yeah, you know what we want to do? We want to be wives with haircuts. Then that's cool.
Can we not acknowledge like I know the way he said it, definitely I can see like the pandering aspect is supposed to be clicky, bait, all that, right? But can we actually address like the meat and potatoes of what he's saying, which is there are men that do sit around and are not in the space of wanting to step up to be the husband that we're talking about, this great magical dream man, right? We've said this. There's very few men that are, you agree to that. There's very few men that fall into this space and pocket. So then where then do all the other men trickle down to? This is one of those departments that those men trickle down to in the
Taking
space
the
of they're
check.
not stepping up,
Yeah, I give you that. And I think what Restoring said was accurate. There's a lot of guys that want to be chased and pursued, but the women who typically call those things chase and pursue tend to not use those words correctly, because the men don't want to be chased and pursued. They want to be appreciated and feel gratified by women. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you look at everything a man has to be that a woman wants, literally makes him the prize, unless she's also the ideal woman. And unideal women seek ideal men on a regular basis. So, and whoever the best person is, technically, would be the prize and the better of the two. So why would the man who is 6'6", make $1 million, got all the cars, is handsome, got a golden ratioed face, has the social network and the clout, why would he not expect a woman to be grateful and appreciative of the fact that he chose him? Or that he chose her. Like, that's common sense. But women, a lot of, like True said, women aren't need to learn humility. They also need to learn appreciation and a couple other adjectives, but I think it sounds better coming from him or Mont than me.
And if we did discuss it, in my opinion, we'd have to involve women, because most of the men that he's talking about that wants to be the version of the housewife didn't have strong leadership. Men with strong male leadership, they understand that they are to protect and to provide.
Those same men were also likely raised by women. So good job, ladies.
I do think when it comes to, what was I about to say? Damn, somebody go. I forgot exactly what I was about to say.
I am interested in getting to like Bo kind of set the stage of solutions, and Willie actually commented around the solutions. Is it hard, ladies, to hear very simple instructions in a general sense when men say, "Hey, we don't want you to be fat. Hey, we prefer if we meet you and you ain't had 3 other people's kids. Hey, can you particularly have an attitude of willingness in a jovial spirit?"
Hold on.
Like, is that setting the standard way too high?
True. As a
Go ahead, Bo.
fat bald headed woman. Um, some men like fat.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that,
I'm
Bo.
just playing.
See
I'm just
that?
playing.
Yeah,
But
okay,
no.
all right.
Fuck out of here. Don't listen, Bo. Like, you've been doing good. We like a year and a half in and you not hating me. Please don't go back on that goddamn that track that you were just going down. Don't do that. It's a
I'm just
bunch
playing.
of
I'm
niggas
just
that
playing.
like big
I'm
bitches
just
that look like
playing.
Lil Bill. That's cool, right? But it's not
I'm
a
just.
lot of them. It's
I'm
not the
just
majority of
playing.
them. And you have more hair than most of these hyena bitches in the chat do. It's
Well,
just
I
not
got
long
called
because of
bald
your
headed, so
hairstyle.
I'm just taking my position.
You
But
getting called
anyway,
bald headed by a girl who wears a fucking hair helmet that's 8 weeks old. Like, we should even care about that. Like, the bitch has a hair hat from 2024. Like, it was
I was
made
making a
during
joke.
COVID, and that's who called you bald headed, and that's what you talking about.
No, no, I'm not. But I was just making a joke. It was a joke. But to answer your
Yeah.
question, True.
All right.
Do women, yes, we know how to take direction. And no, we don't mind it. Here's the thing. The men that are trying to give said direction are not like y'all. You do they some whiny little bitches. Some of them. Now, men who are deserving of it, men who don't like scream from the mountaintops, these women won't submit. Y'all don't do that. The men who have gained, who have gotten submission out of me, never uttered the word. They didn't have to because they weren't the men who had to beg for it. We are talking about the men who are begging and whining for it. Women don't know how to. Yes, we do. And we like it too. It is the women who are mad at the world, who are mad about their past, who cannot get the results. Those are the women that are pointing their finger and like, y'all can't tell me what to do. I don't need a man. I don't. Those women, we are not those women. And a lot of the things that you all hear me say, I am talking about men who are not worthy of said submission. I'm not talking about all men. I'm not even talking about men in general because y'all know I don't do
What?
like percent. Shut your ass up.
Some men don't deserve submission.
Shut your ass up. I don't do like percentages and statistics. I don't know. But I do know that I see men on the internet whining and complaining about women, 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 women. Those who do not complain are the ones that get the results. The women that are not complaining get the results. I don't be complaining. I just be talking. I don't complain. I don't, because I don't have that problem in my real life. I'm not talking about my real life experiences when I'm like, men don't deserve submission. Baby, I'm a sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up type of girl. If that's the type of man that you are, I'd be sitting down and shutting the hell up. What you say? What you Yes, sir.
But
Sure am.
also to that point, the women who are doing everything that they're supposed to do are getting those quality men.
Not always, but yeah. But
I'm just saying, like, but it goes both ways.
I know. I
I
agree.
think that, to True's question, the majority of, obviously, women now, we know that we're not talking about, most of us, but majority of women, it is like, I feel like if a man is asking them to do certain things, they're not willing to do that because it's always going to be, well, it's conditional. I'll do this if you're doing this, as opposed to just being feminine and submitting to a man, without wanting to know, well, are you going to be able to, take care of me? Are you going to be able to do this? Or, well, I want to live this feminine life, so I don't want to have to work. And, I just think that they want to see the end result before they even put in the work to get it.
I have a crazy theory, and like y'all walk with me for a second. Sometimes I sit back and I assess, and I think that overwhelmingly most women's issue is they focus on things that are larger than life for them. Because I think all alike we kind of understand that there's levels to things. There's levels to transportation. There's levels to amenities. There's levels to education. We generally understand this, right? Generally. What I find interesting is some of those levels seem to be trying to be applied in the dating realm, mainly from the women to the men, in my opinion. And I think overwhelmingly, this is why I don't typically have pity for women. I think they really were serious and they actually wanted relationships. They would focus on where they would have the highest probability. You more than likely can find exactly what is suitable for a relationship if you were to focus on the things that mattered: consistency, characteristics, his ability. But that's not where we're at. Where we're at now, going back to that D word, deserve. Generally, women think that they deserve an exceptional human, and they're not typically exceptional humans. Most women, not funny, halfway intelligent, very lazy, and they're basic, generally speaking. This is not to be mean, this is just the truth. When you even really deal with women, especially the men up here, and you start, how do I say it? You generally, when you deal with enough, you start to understand they're not that different, right? One may be more attractive, but at the core, they're generally the same. And that's okay. So that's why I say I find it, my theory is that I don't believe women in mass. I don't think they really want relationships. I think they want to set the standard so high that they know they can't reach it internally. And so then they can point to when they hit 40 and why they haven't found nobody, because nobody meets the standard. But the reality is, sweetie, there is a UPS driver, there is a FedEx driver, there is a whole bunch of guys that are more than qualified to be with you if you really wanted a relationship. So what I find is that women alike, generally, it's not about the man. It's about the collective thought. Because it's not good enough to have a, like, I'll give example. I think if you get told most women they can get married to a good man, but nobody knows about it, there's no pictures, there's no evidence, they'd be like, but why we can't share? Why can't we advertise? Why can't I have the dream? And then you start to question other aspects and you see that there's a train of thought. It's almost, it's not good enough to get a guy. I have to get a guy that's so handsome and so successful and so charming. You're not looking for a human. You're looking for, in my opinion, an experience, like a vacation package. That's
True.
not relationships, in my opinion.
This is the type of shit that got Malcolm X killed. Like talking that type of shit and making that much sense. That's what got him assassinated. You might need to be careful, nigga. Like you finna get one of them protect me at all cost posts on my page. Like nigga, you can't be. Listen, you can't do. It's cooking, but that's that Gordon Ramsay shit, bro. You got to keep some of this shit. Like you need to get security, some like a security system or something, because the hyena bitches are gonna try to have you killed. Because if niggas start hearing what you saying and how much sense that make, it's gonna make it hard for them furry hoes to actually go get a nigga. Like,
I'm trying to help the women. I really am. If they say they want to be in relationships, if they say that and they mean that, because I'm pretty sure all the women on this panel got at least 10 dudes that they know at one time would have jumped in front of a train for them. What was wrong with him? Why didn't he qualify? Did he not elevate fast enough? Did he not make enough money? Did he hit it for 2 minutes and that wasn't adequate? Like, what was it?
yeah, they finna Charlie Kirk your ass, bro. Be careful.
I'm curious.
I mean, I just think based off of a lot of what you're saying, I just find it like odd that you say that most women are not of a certain caliber to, ask for a certain type of man, I guess, in a relationship. I personally think it's just the type of women that you might have attracted or gotten into relationships with, because for the most part, I think that women tend to shy away from marriage if they feel like it's going to lower their quality of life. Or again, because we do see that long term, it is more difficult for men to commit to something long term than it is women, to be honest with you. I mean, we
That's
see it all
not
the
true.
time. We see it all the time. Infidelity in marriages happen all the time. So it has
That doesn't
nothing to
mean he's
do
not
with
committed,
doing.
though.
What is that?
That doesn't mean that he's not committed. That
So
just because he steps out doesn't mean that he's still not handling his duties and responsibilities just because he stepped out. That's a woman's standard.
that's part of but
But
that's
you
the thing.
break up
That's
the
part of
nuclear
commitment.
family.
But
You break up the nuclear family over that, not him.
If
but
he
that's
committed to being monogamous, he didn't stand on his
That's a
commitment.
demand
thank
from
you.
women. That's not a male standard.
I
Okay.
think
If
I
let's
he
mean,
explore.
agreed to
I get
that,
that some
that
women.
would
I get
be.
that some women are willing to
What the
tolerate
fuck
that
is
for
happening?
the most part. What is that?
What the fuck? Not you.
Oh,
This is the stupidest.
I,
Go ahead. I'm
Let's
sorry.
I understand some women are willing to tolerate that, but that should not be like a uniform consensus across the board.
If he has enough money, any woman will tolerate it. It's
Uh,
only a problem because he
that's not
doesn't have
true
the
because if that
financial
was the
bracket that
case,
you want. It's been shown
that's not true.
multiple
If that was the
times.
case, Jeff Bezos would
Kobe,
still be married.
Kobe's
Elon
wife,
Musk would still be
anybody
married.
dealing with a man with finances does not leave.
They were dealing with men with finances. Jeff Bezos,
Every
is
woman
he
up here
stepped
will
out
give
on his
Jeff
marriage and
Bezos some
she
pussy for
divorced
$1
him.
billion.
Elon Musk, same
Exactly,
thing.
Willie.
For
What
$1
is that?
billion, all of y'all are giving Jeff Bezos some pussy.
Yeah,
Like,
and
I'm
the
not.
only
I'm
You
reason
not.
why
could
There's
he's
a
not give me
doing
difference
that
enough
That's
from
not
money to
true.
there's
sleep
a
with that white
difference from
man.
giving pussy and being in a relationship with a
Thank
person.
you.
Hey, well, call it what you want to, but fucking is
so
fucking.
they
And
should
for $1
stop
billion,
doing that one
Yeah,
Jeff
now.
but she
Bezos
said
is
See,
that's
fucking a
and
lot
why
of
this is
they're
y'all.
why,
still
okay,
single. They
but
still
this is
single though.
why this is the mentality that makes women think 2, 3, 4 times before they commit to a relationship. Because here we are saying bare minimum, if you are marrying somebody, you are committing to them, you know, till death do you part, right? But even that's too much to expect because it's a male standard for him to have that open ticket or that pass to be able to step out on the marriage, and women
Yeah,
have
but
to
what if
tolerate that
What about
if
the
he
he's
what?
has enough
securing
money.
everything in his household?
Wait.
Everything in
What
his household
about
is secured.
What about this? So women love to bring up till death do us part, like the part of the vows that benefit them and are easy. What about the love, honor, cherish, and obey? Y'all definitely don't do that, and y'all definitely say it though, but you never talk about it when you get unruly, disrespectful, and unappreciative in your marriages. A man can just a man fucking another woman. Now, if he's agreed to just be with you, and then that's on him. But if men were honest and they told women like, "Hey, listen, you always gonna be number one. I'm always gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure I protect you. I'm never have unprotected sex. So I'm gonna take care of your pH better than you do. But every now and then I'm gonna fuck other bitches because I get other bitches and I want to. It's up for that woman to choose it. But the thing is, most of y'all are too selfish to think that you don't want to be everything that man needs, but you only want him to get that shit from you. So unless, and again, and if more of y'all were being everything your man want, they would be side bitches, would not be such a popular and helpful thing in relationships. Because the
what's
Absolutely
sad
not.
part about
interesting
it is, you know
is
how
Absolutely not. I'm
delusional a woman
sorry.
has, how selfish a woman has to be
stepping
for
out.
a man to think that, for her to think
Absolutely
that the
not.
man that she went and got, that all other women want, because she went and got her ideal nigga, right? For her to be so selfish and think that man should only be with her when she's not going to be everything he needs, she's nuttier than squirrel shit.
And she's
I
not even a
disagree.
virgin.
Absolutely
She's
not.
not even
That's
a
taking,
virgin, which is
that's
one of his
completely
only
reassigning,
requirements.
in my opinion, that's reassigning the accountability. I'm sorry. That makes absolutely no sense. If
I
a
just
man
don't
steps out,
understand why we want
if
to
a
hold
man,
him to a
if,
standard that we didn't hold ourselves to. You didn't marry a
Exactly.
virgin, so
what
what
are
are
you
we
talking,
talking about here?
you said I didn't marry what?
You're talking about
People
within the
don't marry.
confines of a
Majority of women
marriage.
do not marry a virgin, which is one of the man's only requirements of you. But we're going to tell him what he shouldn't be doing when we couldn't do that.
Again,
Most
if she held herself to him only throughout the marriage, that's part of the deal. He's not a virgin either when they got married. So if he's
But
not a
so is
virgin,
He's
that
not
obeying
means she's
him.
not a
supposed to
virgin.
be.
They got married. Oh, he's not supposed to be?
No, we don't walk
Wait,
down the aisle with virgin men. We're in white. They're
okay.
not. That's not
Well,
something that we look
in
for. We don't even want the man that looks like he doesn't get women. We need to stop.
so if it's not in a if you're not making this the point that women have to be virgins from a religious stance, in what world do you think socially women are supposed to
No,
be
men.
expected?
Men would
I'm
want you
talking about
without the
women, men and
history.
women, religiously speaking.
No,
Okay,
men
so
and
then
women are not
where did you
equal.
get
So
that
you're
stand?
trying to police what a man is doing
No,
when
Hold on,
no.
y'all. Because y'all
Religiously
talking
speaking,
over
though.
each other. Go ahead.
Religiously speaking, because again, I mean, that's where that standard comes from. Religiously speaking, in what religion is it only required for women only to practice celibacy and keep themselves virgins until marriage?
But
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
that's a
that's the
fair.
point.
I don't think.
The
Yeah, I
point
don't
that
think
she's
that's a.
making is that in what religion is, I think the only religions that require men to have one wife are the ones that seem to be the most hypocritical.
I'm not talking about him having one
And
wife.
then,
I'm
but you
talking about
also
in
are
what
talking about.
religion. Okay,
You're talking about religious weddings, right? Unfortunately, in the West, that's not what the root of most marriages are.
I'm
So
not. That's not
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
religious or the Bible in marriages and being based off those statistics won't work unless you're talking to people who agree or believe those things, and our society doesn't.
So one thing.
Hold
Are
on,
we
y'all.
not?
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
because I don't think she said it's not what she's talking about. So what you talking about, restoring village? Go ahead.
Village, you can go.
Village, go ahead. It's on you. Go ahead.
I don't know if she can hear you.
Okay.
You-
Somebody else tell her. Go ahead.
Hey, go ahead,
Village,
Restoring, if you can hear us.
Go ahead, Restoring. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Restoring?
She got to reset. Yeah.
I literally cannot hear anything. I don't know what's wrong with
Oh,
my
you have to
sound. I'm sorry.
refresh. Refresh.
Just refresh. You'll be fine. JR, put one of those floaty word boxes up. I can't do it.
Okay.
I'm just gonna reload.
You're good.
Reload.
You're good. The thumbs up work? No?
Yeah.
You just kicked the show. Come back.
Damn, you kicked her.
Yeah, I need
That's
her to
cold.
come back because we got to explore what she was talking about.
I don't think it's far fetched what she was talking about. The idea of wanting a virgin does come from religion originally, to my knowledge.
You're right.
So I don't know if that's really a standard that we really are looking for these days.
Again,
But I
if a
think more
woman
so
is
what
going
she's
if a woman's going to
Can't be
mention
the standard because
vows,
you can't find it. Sorry.
if a woman is going to mention vows, then she needs to talk about all of them, because I don't think that, no disrespect, I would say that 99% of wives don't obey their husbands.
That's
But
fair.
I think so more so what she's saying is that like certain people, I'd say women, they don't, I mean, when they want a committed relationship, they don't understand how men step outside of their marriage, and so they hold them to that standard that a man would hold women.
I just want to discuss why he's stepping out in the first place. Most of the time, you're not even doing what you're doing, supposed to be doing to keep him from stepping out. We want to hold him to a standard, but then when we're not in the mood, he's supposed to sit there and not be pleased. He should be ejaculating a minimum of 21 times in a month to lessen or avoid prostate cancer. So we really could have a bigger discussion. You actually need help, most of us.
Okay, so
You can't
to go
handle him
based
by
off of
yourself anyway.
okay, so to go based off of that logic, if we're saying that men, it's not a deficiency in him that he has the opportunity to step out on the marriage if he's not getting quote unquote his share of the bargain, then the same goes for women with regards to obeying. If you're not doing your part as a man, if you're not respectable, if you don't have, good moral ethics, if you don't have the high character, then she doesn't have to obey you either.
So
So
you
if it's
married
a
a
tit
man
for
without
tat,
these qualities.
n-
So
and
what
the
does
sa-
that say
no,
about
no,
who
no,
you pick?
things could no, but that's the thing. Things could change after. Men can change their
Exactly. So
behavior
he
and
could
they
have
can
wanted
change
to
their
be committed in
standards.
one moment, and then you got off your square, and now you have a sister wife. Exactly.
Okay, so then if that's the case, then the standard goes for women too. So now we're opening the doors on both end. We can't
No,
just
we're
say
not.
only. Yeah, we
Because you're
are.
a
We
woman.
are.
You're held to a different standard just for
That's
being a
not how that
woman.
works at all.
That is exactly how it works. I'm
No, that's
sorry.
how it
You
works.
can't tell
That's
me
how
it
it,
is.
that's how
It
it works.
is.
The feminists
Okay.
or women who think that men
Okay.
are
Yeah,
women
let's have a
are women are
conversation.
men.
I
Asking-
think this is one of
asking-
the times we can ask the why. Why?
Asking for mutual respect is not feminism.
No, it's not asking for mutual respect. That's not what you're doing. You're asking for the same circumstances and requirements to be headed for men and women. Because
No.
because that hurts y'all more than it hurts us. Okay, cool. Now we get held to the same sexual standard. Y'all get held to the same physical standard, the same
Okay.
burden of production standard, and
No,
that kills
if
y'all
that
more.
was
It
the
kills more
case-
than you guys than it will us.
If that was the case, then I would say women can go out and cheat as well.
No,
and
that
we're not
means
holding
that
you to the same standard. It's
You're
the male
talking past
equivalent.
each other. You're talking
The
past
only,
each other.
but to see, the problem is when you say if that was the case, you're not the arbiter nor you don't make the rule. So we're talking about your opinion. We're talking about generally speaking for men, and we're not talking about ourselves personally, because then like that's where your argument fails, because you're saying, well, if that was the case, then you might not conduct yourself that way in your relationship. But what Melanin said is it's almost irrefutable. If a woman expects a man to do a thing and to be a thing to her, which is which is loyal, or however, whatever word y'all want to confuse with saying monogamous. If that's what you guys want a man to do, then you need to be everything that man needs in order to make the being that thing make sense. And most of you guys are not, which again is why you get cheated on, why you get left, and why he has side chicks. And the crazy part is, I would bet, if I'm almost at the point where I want to fund a study, if I knew niggas would be honest or women would be honest. But do you know how much good side bitches do as far as prolonging marriages for unhappy men? Because again, a dude will get 60% of what he wants from his wife, but then you'd be like, damn, I got the time, I got the kids. I don't want to blow up to 60, but also I don't deserve to go without being fulfilled. So I'm going to go find at least 20, maybe 30% of the 40 he's missing from another chick. He doesn't lose any interest in the home. He's not performing Loris as a husband. He's still showing up for the kids, showing up for the wife, paying bills, doing all of those things. But every now and then he goes and hits another bitch from saying, bends a bitch over a balcony. Like, a lot of selfish women who are already lazy and not doing what it takes to keep their men should be thanking those women for the additional time, because at the end of the day, when you guys leave, he didn't blow up the home, you did. When you leave now, you're also going to have to go pay for all of your own shit. So at the end of the day, if men were honest and if women weren't selfish, I think that their relationships would be a lot healthier and a lot better. Because it seems like
this is why women don't want to get married. This is why women don't want to get married.
I think y'all talking past each other. Restoring, let me know, because this is what I heard, right? I heard you saying that if a man has the right to step out, if he's not stepping up to his standard and what's expected of him, then if a man is not doing what's expected of him, a woman should have the right to stand out. I don't think you were saying that it's equal as far as what's expected of each other, but whatever the standard is for each other, if he's not stepping up, you saying that she should have the right to step out if he does have the right to step out. Is that what you were saying? Like, for example, if he's not being a good leader, oh, you can step out. I can step out and find another good leader. Is that what you were saying? Something like that?
I don't think she can hear you, but I don't think that's what maybe I misunderstood her.
Well, we wait till she come back. We can, but I disagree. I absolutely disagree with Willie. I don't think niggas be cheating because they wife not doing something. Niggas be. Has anybody on this panel ever been a cheater?
Like, I don't believe that any man in the history of niggas has ever cheated on a bitch that was worth not cheating on.
That's not a thing.
I disagree.
That's not a thing.
See, this is
hold on, real quick. Who on this panel has been a cheater? Who?
I left, so yeah, I'm not a cheater. I'll leave.
You know, how about you? Yeah. You ever been a cheater?
I like breaking up. It's fun.
I've cheated, but I wouldn't say I'm a cheater. Like, yeah, I've cheated.
Well, technically true. If you let women tell it, if you cheat one time, you're always a cheater. But if they're a whore for 4 years, they used to be a whore. So,
but to your point, we just
be wanting the other chick. It just is what it is. Like, I
don't think it's that. I don't think it's that simple.
Okay. What you got on?
No, Paris was trying to get in there. So go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I talk to men that, complain about, their wives or whatever. I've had conversations with them, and sometimes yeah, you're right. Yeah, sometimes she's, not fulfilling certain things and he still have desires, but that's not majority of the case. Some men is just hypersexual and they get with a woman that's not as hypersexual as them. Sexual, sorry. And then sometimes men, and I had this conversation a couple times with men, that they look at their wives as, pure and, holy, wifey. So some of their fetishes and things that they want to explore or like, they couldn't see themselves doing that to their wife. So they'll go out and get a little side chick that they can do all the wild, desirable things that they want because they don't want to, see their wife in that set. So it's several different reasons why y'all step out.
I think it's interesting that everybody's so into sex before you get the ring.
You got a point there. Miss Pearl, you got anything to add, Miss Pearl? JR has a clip for us, and we want to make sure we get you included in the conversation.
We got to get Bo in there too.
Yeah, Bo too.
Oh shit, my bad, Bo.
It's okay. You hate me, and I knew that a long time ago, so it's fine. So here's my problem. It's not the logic that Willie was talking about, because we just gonna stick to what Willie was saying. I'm not gonna do that. I get it. Like, men who are being unfulfilled, do get the right to step out. Here's the thing. You missed a step. Like, unless this is just an unspoken step, and then I'll accept that. But if you are having a problem, if you are missing something, you say something and give that person the room to fix said problem before you, like, you know what? She's a bag of bitches. I'm going to find me another one. Like, you have to communicate the things that you are missing in the relationship. Women have zero problem communicating with y'all what we need. We're going to tell you every little thing. As a matter of fact, there is a crack in the floor that you never fix, and I'm going to tell you that you need to fix that crack in the floor because it's your house, nigga. So, like, if women are, let me stop. If women are able to literally complain to you about all of the things that you do wrong, I feel like you should take a page out of women's books and do the same. We don't understand what's wrong unless you tell us, because y'all say it yourselves. You women think you don't do anything wrong. Yeah, you know why? Because y'all don't never tell us that we do it. Like, if we don't know, we can't fix it.
You
So
know,
you
I love you.
don't deserve, huh?
That's not true.
I said, I love you, Bo. Right? You know, I love
Am
you,
I
right?
lying?
Yes, that's not
No,
true.
you're
Yes.
not. You're
Yeah,
not.
pretty bad.
You're not lying. What you're doing is you're speaking from the woman's perspective, which is fair. I expect that.
I don't
But
like
I
that. Don't
think
put
that's
me there.
you paint with the assumption that men are not communicating these things. You paint with the assumption and the assertion that they're not communicating with their wives. That is not true.
A
Men
lot of
don't
men
communicate.
don't.
No, that's not true. What a
A lot
lot
of
of
Okay.
men
men
don't
do,
listen. As
a
soon as
lot
you
of
tell them
men.
what
I'm
you're
talking the
doing wrong, you
truth.
have something else to say. You've never been held
Okay,
accountable.
truth. Explain
Nobody's
to me
pointing us
how
or
men
directing us
are
in the right
doing
direction.
this,
Yeah.
because if I'm missing it, please explain to me. Because
So basically, the strong assumption we'll take from what Restoring was saying. If we're going to be in a relationship, whether it's marriage or committed, men understand I'm signing up to have all of her, right? And I think what occurs is that through the stress, maybe the children, maybe the new demands, women, you said it earlier, women are not good at knowing how to balance a multitude of things. So what I see a lot of women do is they take that man for granted, where they now think, well, I'm working on this promotion, so he understands why I'm tired. Men do communicate. They'll say, hey, baby girl, whatever term he uses, I need you to pay me some more attention. And then typically, what you get immediately, well, you see what I got going on. I got to do this. I got to pick up the kids. I got this. I got this. They don't ask, what do you mean? They don't ask, okay, how can I be better? That's not women generally. They give you a stack of reasons why they can't show up. That conversation for most men may happen twice, three times, and every man's limit is different. So, what men generally do, which I'm not saying is right, they revert and they stop talking, and now they take matters into their own hands. I would like the world to where men are bold enough, like myself and maybe others, to be like, look, if you don't get your together, don't be surprised if I go get this satisfaction taken care of. But that's unrealistic to expect most men to operate in that manner. One, we're not demons. Two, we care enough to try to sustain some level of humanity when it comes to you. So I think maybe you can take a man saying, you know what, Bo, you slipping. I need you to drop everything, get in there, and let's get to it. You may be able to handle that. Most women can't, but men do talk, and they talk loud. Women
so
just are not used to men
Well,
requiring them. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
in my in my experience as a woman who has dated men and even been married to one, they don't generally communicate like that. No, they do not. They do not say, "Hey, pay me some attention." I'm sorry, men do not. The vast majority of men that I've dealt with, the only time they ever say anything that they have a problem with is if the woman brings up their problem. And now we're problem sharing, not solving anything. I listen, this is the problem that I'm having with you. Well, I didn't say nothing when you blah, 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 blah. That's what usually happens. That is how men communicate. And I thought it was just me, but when I was when I was going through the troubles of my last relationship, I kind of confided in a couple of my friends. And they were like, yeah, men tend to do that. This is not like just me. This is not an isolated incident. Men typically do that. Men do not generally know how to communicate their feelings because you all are not taught to communicate your feelings like that. You're not. So I get it, but being a woman that has dated men do not like attention. A man complaining about somebody not paying him attention,
Oh,
not as a whole.
I'm saying like physical attention. Like let's
Yeah.
get a consensus. Ladies, you guys have dated men. You telling me that collectively you guys have not had men say, "Hey, I need you to maybe slow down," or when you get off work, whatever his verbiage is, he hasn't conveyed to you that he needs a little bit more sexual attention. Is that
He
in
shouldn't have
mass?
to.
I've,
Okay. He shouldn't
I've
have
heard
to.
that.
That
But I
should
think
never
that
be
what
We're
something
happens,
talking about what does happen.
that should
okay,
never be something
Exactly.
that he should
what
have
I
to
was gonna
tell
s-
her.
We're
If
what
he
I
has
was
to
talking
gonna
tell you
about
say,
that,
what
do
he's
something there.
asking
He
what
ain't asked
does
y'all to take
happen,
his
not what
turn.
should.
He just asked y'all a small question.
He shouldn't have to.
I would
so I
say
think that
it. I would.
I think men do communicate that, but I think that it might not always look as like, hey, this is what I need you to do. It might be certain things they may show.
We can't hear you, Jay. Now we
Oh,
probably can. Go ahead.
okay. I was gonna say I think that men do communicate that, but I think that it may not look like the hey, I haven't had sex this week. I need you. It might not be in that form. Like they're communicating in certain ways, maybe not just verbally, but I feel like they're communicating in certain ways, but the it's being ignored, or I guess in a sense.
I would
Whatever
say.
happened to the
I
if
mean,
you want to, you will. I don't understand why he has to tell you that he's not getting pleased. You don't have that many jobs to do when it comes to him. Men are very easy. I mean, sometimes he wakes up and it's already ready for you, and you'll get out the bed like you just don't even see it. So if we're going to talk about one side, we need to talk about the other. Men are not that difficult. I don't understand why this seems to be so hard.
True. Would you
So
I
say
mean,
that?
In
yeah,
your
all men
experience,
is not the same though. Because
We're
my
not,
ex was
no one said that. Well, hold on. I have a question for you real quick before you move on. True. Would you say you said that men communicate, right? Would you just based off of what you've seen from the panel members tonight, do you believe that these women would be? Well, let's not say so. You have to specify. Do you believe that all of these women would create a space in their relationship where their man would even feel safe to communicate anything that he needed from them?
I think some, but not all. No.
So, and would you say that about women in general, that most women do create that space for a man to be honest with them about anything they got going on or wherever they feel that she's deficient in, or would you say that the majority do not create that space?
Majority do not.
So I believe that so that's why I think it's believable. Like when women say that men aren't talking to them, the problem is that they shine a light on themselves by saying that, because men talk to women they can talk to, especially inside of a relationship. If you're in a relationship with the guy and he feels like, and he doesn't talk to you about the hard stuff, it's because you've shown him that you can't, either in your emotional capacity or like what Bo said, it turns into problem sharing. And a lot of guys are like that. Like I've done that a time or 10 in my past, but being older and trying to make sure that I don't, that's a conflict resolution strategy. But it's very, very realistic to say that some men don't talk to women. But again, since we're talking about the why now, and since the why matters, women should ask or have some type of curiosity about why their men won't talk to them about those things.
I'm willing to be educated. That's why I'm operating from a place, again, being on the man side, and I'm not even testing it to myself, because I think Restoring said it's a depiction of the women that I've attracted. I've never had a problem with women. I'm speaking for what I observed. This is just coming from what I've seen and counseling with hundreds of people, right? But from what I gather, men, like what was being stated, men do typically communicate in a way that is not maybe how you guys want it to come across. I've heard stories where, especially the kids get involved, he may say something like, hey, this weekend I'm gonna need the kids to go to your mom's house. And depending on how she feels or whatever, she now starts saying, well, well, I wanted to take the kids to the park, or I this and that and this and that. And so what typically happens in that exchange, and I'm not saying men don't need to grow in this area, he's now being berated with why a simple request like, I need the kids to go to your mom's house. So he just doesn't engage and he doesn't fight. But he shouldn't have to say, I need the kids to go to your mom's house so that I can bend you over all weekend because I miss that ass, girl. He shouldn't have to say that. But it's almost like girls get gang dumb stupid that I have to literally lay out all the steps of the plan instead of being able to instruct you. I am man, right? This is my relationship, right? I am your leader, right? So if I'm saying, hey, I need the kids to go, if you have questions, ask the questions. But you should be like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And that should be it. That should be simple, in my opinion. But you have your own agenda and you have your own focal point. And now you're steering the direction instead of asking more questions. And I will say I have seen men do that. I have seen men bow out because it's a battle that he don't want to have. And it, quite frankly, it's embarrassing to be a grown man and have to ask your woman to give you some ass. It makes no sense.
No, I completely understand that. I'm not denying that. Again, I don't even know how we got to this point here. Going back to what we were talking about, we said that men or women, it's very difficult for women to expect men to be loyal to their marriages because he, quote unquote, isn't putting out. So that gives him the open door to go, I guess, seek his needs elsewhere, right? But if we're going to put the female equivalence of that, because men are physical creatures, right? They look for that physical intimacy. Women look for the emotional connection. So is it fair to say then with that logic that when women are neglected emotionally and romantically in their marriages, that they too are allowed to seek whatever they feel necessary to be able to soothe that, whether it be acting out or being extra emotional or being physically disconnected because of the emotional neglect? If that was the case, if it's I'm doing this wrong thing as a result of me not getting what I wanted in this way, then why are we not making that same, I guess, excuse for women who do that?
Okay, I can tell you why. I don't see it making sense. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Generally, you guys you said emotional connection. You guys typically have that in abundance through friends, family, coworkers, and so on, generally speaking. That's not accurate?
That's not the
not
same.
accurate?
That's not the same as a
I'm not
marriage.
saying it's this. I'm not saying the same thing, but walk with me for a second.
Well,
If you're
we
go
could
ahead.
say men can physically, I guess, relieve themselves in other ways as well,
Shouldn't
with
have to.
themselves or whatever it is.
Yeah, and they do that in relationships. But
Okay,
if
so it
you
doesn't take the place of physical
Yeah,
intimacy with your spouse.
let's see where he
It's only
going
a
with it.
problem when it's men. Women cheat more. Like
Go ahead,
we're
True. Let's
we're
see where
literally stuck on this like that when women cheat more than men do. And we don't ever want to talk about that. We don't never hold one another accountable, but now we want to lose our minds. And at the end of the day, you're not doing your job. And I don't even understand why the equivalent will be to go cheat back. You just lessened your value. If you're really that bothered by it, then I would say you leave. You don't cheat back.
I
I
say
would
the
say
issue with the cheating is that if
Hold,
we're being
hold
honest,
on,
sorry,
call
I
me. We
apologize.
got a True got cut off.
no. Well, I find it confusing because physicality and emotional intimacy live in very different realms. You said if she's not getting you said if she's not getting met emotionally, can't she go cheat? So
Emotion.
I guess
I
I
think you were saying
depicted.
emotionally cheat, like get that
No,
emotional aspect from somebody else, right?
I, and not even emotionally cheat. I'm saying, can she soothe herself emotionally? Sometimes that means she starts acting out. Sometimes she starts having an attitude or she emotionally disconnects. That's a soothing mechanism for her, the same way a man stepping out is a mechanism for him to relieve himself physically of what he feels like is being neglected. That's the
But
female equivalence of that.
I guess that's where maybe me and you would not align because I don't assume that it's my sole job to adhere to your emotions solely. It's a part of my job, but that's not my whole job. That's a part of the problem why relationships suck now. Relationships always been a village approach. The difference in your example is that you physically are here for me as I am for you, but I'm not solely here for you just emotionally, which is why I said don't you have friends, family, cohorts alike? Because the soothing that you're referring to is supposed to be a collective of your, I would say, society, your your ecosystem, not just your man.
Maybe I miscommunicated that part. I meant the emotional and romantic connection that you only can expect from a spouse. If she is not being met in that way, is it fair to say that she can then take matters into her own hands the same way it's okay to say that men can take matters into their own hands if they're not being physically, if their needs physically are not being met?
Gotcha.
That seems like to be the issue. It's always like, well,
For tap.
it's always like that. Like it can't just be like, okay, this is what I'm not getting. Okay, let me go ahead and fulfill that, or let me meet you halfway or be understanding. It's always like, okay, well then, you didn't do this. That's a lack of accountability in my
I mean,
in my thought.
I wouldn't say it's lack of accountability. I think this is the breaking ground, right? We're seeing why women don't want to get married and why men are stepping out from marriages. I think it's like, where's the middle? If you really want to get to the root of the problem, it really is, there's responsibility on both ends. Women, men are not being met, with their physical needs, and women are not being met emotionally and romantically in their relationships.
I think
But women are
sometimes
always
restoring
emotional.
well, I think this is just my
Because that's how they're created. Men are always physical.
But that's why I think, again, and I appreciate you speaking to it because it exists heavily, right? I don't personally think men are ever been designed to adhere to you guys emotionally the way you're even conveying it. I think that's a misconception which sets a lot of women up for failure, which is why I use the examples of the pillars of your life. This is just my assumption. When I get with you, if me and you built a relationship, I am going to attempt to satisfy where I can satisfy. But to even use emotions as a barometer is difficult because it's never one or the same. If you say, hey, every day before you leave the house, I would like you to give me a kiss, I can do that. If you would say once a week, I need flowers, I would prefer that. I can do that. But again, you're a woman. Dating a woman, it moves all the time. It's never the same. And in most cases, men do adhere to the things that women are requesting and requiring that are within their capacity. You're telling me that physically you can't meet what I need from you. And that to me is why it's a disconnect. Like, it's not tied to just your emotions. When you signed up to be in a relationship, you signed up to perform in that relationship, as did I. But I didn't sign up to perform romantically and emotionally solely. That's not what I signed up for. I personally think that's the disconnect.
I think with women,
Well, I mean, I would
more when they say like emotional and all that type of stuff, I really think they just mean they want to feel connected, right? Which could be as small as like even with my girl, like when she done doing something like hanging out with, she go to dinner with her friend or something like that, she want to call me and tell me all about it, even if I'm not fucking listening, right? She just want me to be on the phone, and like sometimes if I don't pick up, it'll affect her. She'll be like I really wanted to like have a talk to you. That was like pretty much all I wanted to do was talk to you at that other dinner. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I pick up the phone because I know how important it is to you. That at least that's just the way that she feel connected to me because I'm her best friend. So
Bro,
you just want to make
how
sure that
you know how lucky you
I just wanted
you
to add
are.
one last point. I know
You
JR
know
came up
how
to, I guess,
lucky
put
you
this
are for
clip,
that.
but
Like
again,
if
I don't believe that men are not
she can't
capable
hear
of
it all.
doing it because they do it when they're interested in a woman.
She
When
may
they
not hear
first meet a
you.
woman that they're
That's
interested in,
fine.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
Can
I
you
was
hear
talking
Willie
and you cut
talking?
me off. That's fine. Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you're not able to.
It's
You
cool.
got to refresh.
So dope.
Cool.
You
I
know
got,
how lucky you
is
are
it
to
just
have a
me?
girl
Yeah.
that when she out with her friends, she wants to call and tell you about it. Like that's again, you ask a lot of men, they
You have to
will tell
refresh.
you that that's not what happens. They just see their girl when she gets home. Like, and there's sayings in the manosphere that, if you want to know if your girl is really your girl, let her go get drunk with her friends. If she don't call you while she's drunk, you not that nigga. Like, if your girl is out with her girls and while she coming home, she want to call you and talk to you about it, or while she out, she want to call and tell you like what's going on. How that's the average guy would really appreciate that because it's not something they get to experience. Because typically, most men experience their women going out with their girls as like a way to disconnect, let her hair down and go be single-ish for a minute. And when I mean being single, just not be tied to, worried about, or tethered to her man's expectations, even though we both understand that those extend past the house. But for like those women who call their men when they're out, you know what I'm saying? Not even checking in. We just like call them, you know what I'm saying? And Obviously we don't give a fuck about being included, but just the fact that she still is with her girls, her friends in that like downtime that she wants to call you. Yeah, I like a lot of guys appreciate that when it happens.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to say is like, Bo, when we come into like the sex thing, man, nobody has to communicate that, right? Every woman knows damn well when she ain't fucking her man. You know it. You know every day, because you hope he don't try to touch you. It's like, all right, maybe I can get away with another night. If you not fucking your man and you know you not fucking, you like, all right, hopefully he forgot. Like, hopefully he tired, right? You know if you're not for every woman knows, you know how many days, you know when you're not fucking your man. So there ain't nothing that nobody gotta communicate.
I think the thing that keeps like we went way past a couple points. Most marriages, from my understanding, are a monogamous setup. Most people aren't getting into poly marriages. So when they're starting these commitments and these bonds, they're on a basis of being monogamous a lot of the times. So when you step out of that bucket of being monogamous and did not communicate that that's what you're going to do, you are not, I'm sorry, you can't put that on the woman at that point. That's a choice you made to step outside of the commitment that you actually made to be monogamous to this woman. So I don't know why we keep trying to excuse that and circle it back around when the problem is the source.
Why do we keep going around the fact that most of the time women are not doing what they're supposed to do in the marriage, since we don't want to skip over anything?
I'm not skipping over that. I'm saying you want to talk about
Can we address that?
the accountability in the cheating man is the man that went
I
out
want to
and
talk
cheated.
about the woman now, though. Why isn't
I
she
love
doing
that
what
you want to
she's
do
supposed
that, but I made the one statement I made.
Okay, of course.
Ladies, have y'all ever been in a relationship where y'all felt like you stopped sleeping with your man for longer periods of time?
No.
None of y'all? Jay, call me Miss Matt.
sorry,
No
say
matter
that one more
how
time.
deep, no matter how deep your voice get, bro, they not finna tell you the truth.
Now, what was the question again? I'm sorry.
Have you ever been in a relationship where you weren't sleeping with your man regularly?
Yes.
Bo, call me Miss Mac. Have you?
I would say not in the regularly would not be part of that. It would be like there are moments where yes, there could be a disconnect because of things that are happening, and I don't want to be touched because of I want to address what the issue is because I can't fake like I'm okay, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Understood. How about you, Jay?
Yeah, towards the end of the relationship when it was over. But other than that, no.
Interesting. Because well, both says flat out, yeah. Do you know what made that happen? That sex to start, slowly stop having sex.
It was, so for me, it's what Miss Max said and Jay said. It's at the end. Usually when that happens, it's not just, oh, I don't want you to touch me. I don't have that problem with men that I like. When I stop liking you and it's pretty much done, that's when I'm like, because there are no problems being solved. There's too much chaos. There's too much confusion. And now I can't, like, that part of me can't work if the emotional side of me doesn't.
But why are we
Like if you don't solve those problems, there's no physical. I can't not like you and have sex with you at the same time.
Why
Like,
do we
that's just-
why do we shift the premise or the circumstance of the question to when it's over, when a lot of majority of marriages are sexless but well before they're over? Like, you guys explain why it would be sexless because you know how you feel about it, but that's not what he's asking you. He's asking you the question because he knows that a lot of, if not the majority of marriages, end up being sexless for the men. There's men who have been married, this is when we need Darwin because he's got the statistics for all of this. But there's a large subset of men that have been married for 5, 6, 8, 10, 15 years and haven't had sex in 2, 3, and 4 years with their wife.
But
That's
do
what
we
he's
ask
talking about.
why?
We understand what happens at the end. Like, because I'm even guilty of that. When I got divorced, like, one of the triggers for me to know that it was time for me to go was when I didn't even look at her as like a attractive or like a sexual being. She
Right.
was a motherfucker that was in my way about everything that I wanted to do. Anything that I wanted to do, she was a hindrance to. That's how that was one of the biggest triggers to let me know it's time for me to move around. And
Right.
instead of cheating, obviously is what I did. Because again, that's the easy way to do it, right? It's easy to cheat. It's efficient to leave. But when he's asking you this question, yeah, if we move the goal, not the goalpost, sorry, but we move the 50-yard line, which is where the saying the game, we say where it starts. we moved it a little bit because it's super easy to understand why you stop fucking a guy you don't like. We don't expect you to fuck men you don't like. That's common sense.
But that's when it happens. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's
it's
not when
no
that's when it happens for
otherwise.
y'all though. We're talking about the majority of men that have these sexless marriages.
I don't
Why
know.
are women not fucking those men?
Do we ask the why? Why do you ask women, why are you not doing it?
We can't ask the why. We're asking the why right now, which is why does that happen?
We don't know. Well, because you're not fulfilling other things. I just said that if you are not fulfilling the other needs, if you are not solving problems, if it's just a pile of problems in the corner not being dealt with, that is a huge turnoff, and it makes me not. It
That's fair.
exhausts
But most of the
people.
time, you can get what you want if you're happy in that way.
I'll take that at face value, Bo. But what you just admitted was that a lot of women's sexual desire for their man is transactional, and that's fine.
It's
No,
not.
it's not
It's
that.
emotional.
It's not.
It is.
Thank you.
It's not
Yes.
transactional. You have to solving a problem is
You
not
have to do
paying
a thing.
anything.
So let me explain to you why it's transactional. You said that he's not doing other things, fulfilling you emotionally, all of the other shit you said, but you and Restoring agreed with. So if he's not doing something is the reason why you are no longer desiring to be sexual with your partner, is the definition of transactional.
That's not true.
It is
That's
not
no.
That's not what that is. It is
let's
not.
look up the word
Okay,
transactional and see what it means.
No,
'Cause I
it's
promise
not
you I'm not wrong.
transactional.
I understand that. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it is not you. It's not you're paying something. You're not. This is not something
doesn't
that.
mean you have to pay.
But well,
No, meaning it's
essentially
you have to do something to get it.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is this is not a do something to get something. I am not like, because it doesn't, solving those problems doesn't automatically open up the floodgates. You have to earn trust back. It is a thing of lost trust. When you can't solve the problems, when you can't do the things in the relationship to fix things, it is, I can't trust you anymore. Like, I don't trust you with telling you things because you're going to let it fall by the wayside. You're going to let these things build up. You're going to ignore the things, and all you want to do is just feel good. That doesn't equal a trustworthy partner. So it's not necessarily that it's transactional. You are not doing the things that you need to do for me to trust you and relax in this relationship. That's what I'm saying.
If that's what you're saying, can we agree on the definition of transactional? Because I mean,
Yes, I agree with the
something is
definition.
based on exchange. For example, I give you this, you give me that.
But you can also say it's reciprocity.
No, okay, cool, right? Which is going to be up under transactional, right? Because you have to transact something. So again, like, words have meanings, right? And
But where is that a
Not
problem?
necessarily you specifically, but generally speaking, like, words have meanings, and you
I know.
guys use words all willy nilly because
But you're saying
transactional is the exact thing that this is.
But
You
what
can
you're
also call it
saying is
performative.
transactional. But
Hold on,
you
Willie. I'll
you
push
put
back on transactional in this scenario, right? I don't think it. This is just what I think. I think what the women are saying is that when certain things start to happen over time, my desire and my body starts to not feel the same about sex. So I start not wanting to have sex. Not like a oh, you're not giving me sex, so I'm going to make this conscious decision. Like, just like your body, you know, if I don't breathe, then I don't get oxygen to this and that. And so that's not transactional. So I think it's more from that perspective.
So still, that's still transactional. It's just not that they just don't want to call it that, because then that would, again, the thing is that I've learned about a lot of, and Bo aside, because I don't think this really applies to her, but a lot of these other women, when we start using defining words, they try to change the definition because it absolves them of looking silly. Because if you admit out loud that you're transactional and your sexual desire is based on what a man is doing for you, that tells that you're not only transactional, but you're selfish, because now that man has to do something first. That man has to do something that is your duty as a wife. Excuse me, that man has to do something to earn you or to cause you to want to do what your duty is as a wife. Everything that a man does in a marriage can be enforced by law. Nothing that a woman does can be enforced by law, but it's still just as she still takes on the exact same duty that he does. But women who are not dutiful and don't understand that tend to only be the ones that are having these problems, because the dutiful women are fucking their husbands on a regular basis. The dutiful women aren't misconstruing or miscommunicating what these things mean by using words that just are that have had the definitions warped by their own personal belief systems.
So hold
But
on,
I
y'all.
don't.
So then
Restore the
in
village.
turn, would
Gotta
it
go
not
on.
still be then
Well,
like the old transactional thing?
No,
Because there's like,
that's the thing, Miss Shaq. Everything is transactional. That's my point. Like, and I don't have an issue with it being
oh, okay,
transactional, but call it for
okay.
what it is.
No, well, Willie, I'd like to go down that route with the definition for you, because I think based on the definition that
No,
I'm
you
reading,
can't argue with. I don't argue definitions, bro. It's in the dictionary.
well,
So like, you
yeah,
got to take it up with them.
which dictionary are you using?
That was Merriam-Webster's definition.
So what I see for transaction, is
Transactional.
transactional. Okay, let's go to transactional. Let's add a AL.
but it's transactional on both
It says of
ends.
relating to involving a transaction. So that's why I
Okay.
went to transaction instead.
Yeah.
Hold on for a
Okay.
second, y'all. Restoring the village was trying to get a point
Where's
for a minute.
I'm so
now.
sorry. I was just trying to say that I think it's transactional on both ends.
No one. That's
Men
what
might
we
not
said.
need. Okay, but I don't get why that's a problem. You're saying that women are being transactional with men because they want emotional connection and stability and consistency to be able to physically, have relations with him. It's the same for men. If they don't feel safe with the woman that they're with, if they don't feel like they're able to perform to a certain standard, or they don't even feel that emotional connection, they too will not physically want to be intimate with their wives. And it happens all the time. You hear men say all the time, "Oh, you nag too much," or "you cause too many problems," or whatever the case may be. They do it all the time too.
I don't think that's right. I want to know what
No.
it is. What is it to be able to sustain the emotional connection? Because as women, you guys are saying these words. I think I'll understand. Maybe even some of the men understand. But please explain to me what that means to sustain an emotional connection.
Well, I mean, again, when we're sitting here talking about when men, and again, we're not going to sit here and pretend like men are not aware of what women want when they're looking for a relationship, because they do it when they're courting her. But it seems like once, they get married, all of a sudden they kind of fall a little flat with regards to, making sure that they maintain that romantic connection. When men are interested in women, they do, everything right, right? Like they're planning all the dates, they're doing all the fun stuff, all Valentine's Days, anniversaries are like, extravagant, over the top. But then once they marry her, all of a sudden that kind of falls through the cracks, whether it be, life happened or children or just being comfortable in the relationship. So when that starts to slip, it's also kind of like a misrepresentation of what she signed up for as well. The same way she's not, I guess, performing what she agreed to from the beginning, which is being, physically available at his whim. It's the same way. I mean, men misrepresent themselves as well in the beginning,
So
because they
Like we
basically,
woo
all do
her.
that though.
so
We all do
you
that
said
even
all
with
of that to say
even with the
basically men
job.
do
And these
it
are
too. Like, congrats.
we
No,
men
there
and
was
women
never
do it.
that was never an argument. So like you're arguing against the point nobody made. My point was that it's transactional and categorizing that one thing as
No,
transactional.
again,
You
if
took
you
all of that
backtrack,
to
you
say that
said
men do it too.
no.
That was
You
pointless.
said women. No, you said women are. So let me get this straight. Women are transactional. They'll only, I
No,
guess,
that's not
give
what
a
I
man what
said.
he.
So like this is
That
the problem,
that
right?
is what you said.
You know how hard it is to like misquote somebody and then respond to what you think they said. I said women's sexual desire for their man is transactional. That's to quote me specifically, but you responded to what you wanted to hear, and that's fine because that's the argument that you prepared for. But what we're saying is that it's transactional on both sides. I was just calling this one situation specifically when Bo gave the example as transactional to see which one of you guys was going to be like, well, that's not transactional, and it didn't take long because relationships inherently are transactional. If you do this, then I do that. That's how it goes. The problem is that when you guys are so stuck on men and women being equal that we have to pretend now that men get more comfortable than women do. And the crazy part is men don't have the ability to get more comfortable than women do because everything we're supposed to do in a relationship is enforceable. Everything that you guys are supposed to do in a relationship is optional, which is why when y'all get in a relationship and get fat, y'all don't get skinny again until you get divorced. When guys get in a relationship and they get fat, they stay fat after they get divorced because they don't give a fuck. And like you guys will go give your best self to the next nigga when you should have gave it to your husband. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't see hashtag revenge body, hashtag the girl he cheated on, hashtag the woman he made me, because you guys wait until after you guys are done in the marriage where you failed to go back and try to go do something successful or good with your body because now you need the attention. You're not going to survive on your own. And now being a single woman, you're operating at a deficit because you had a man who was taking care of his part of the bills, and now you were fat in the marriage and he left you because he cheated because you got fat. So now you're single again. You get in shape and have to pay 100% of your bills.
I still want her to explain how because what you said, restoring, is that the man is courting. I heard that. And you said he's doing a bunch of things that invoke emotion. I heard that. Then somehow, some way, when he gets you, he's no longer performing. That's about right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you open up your emotions for those things, or did I conjure them? Because way you're... Go ahead.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's the same way on both ends, right? Men and women, they will perform until they, I guess, get to a certain level or they reach that goal that they think they're supposed to reach. Once they get there, it's natural to fall comfortable in that spot. So women will feel comfortable in the sense that, okay, I'm married to him now and I don't have to worry about him looking elsewhere because, we got married and he owes me that commitment. And vice versa. Men are like, well, I married her now and now I'm going to take care of the bills and I'm not going to do all these things that quote unquote the husband does. But again, that emotional connection between two individuals is gone. And that physical connection between two individuals is gone. She might be cooking and cleaning, taking care of the kids, all the other things, but she's not giving you your, physical intimacy needs that you're needing. You still feel depleted, and vice versa. You could be paying all the bills and doing what you're supposed to be doing as a husband, but if that emotional connection for the two individuals is not there, I mean, it's you're just going through the motions at that point. It's not a real marriage or relationship.
True. Many fellas? Wait, how many of y'all have fucked a woman that you hated before? And would say that most men have definitely done that before, because at the end of the day, it's not about our connection when we're fucking you. We don't want to beat our meat, so we decide to use you as a human-sized sex doll. So the odds of a man fucking somebody that he's not connected to is significantly higher than it is apparently for a woman, because again, you guys are transactional about sex and you use sex as currency.
See, you said it again. That's not true, because women need emotional connection to be physically intimate.
And I'll give you the correct benefit of the doubt there, that it may not be true about you. So the only thing you can do is prove me wrong. But for the majority of women, sex is a currency in their relationships. Or again, fellas,
I think women were created.
Those of us who actually date women, have you seen that more often than you've seen it? If not, or maybe I'm wrong, fellas, tell me. No, y'all not trying to impress nobody, so tell me if I'm wrong.
No, I think that's why I'm trying to get her to kind of expand upon it. It seems vague to me because, again, dated women, got a woman now. I understand as a man what I'm supposed to do, but I'm doing the things because it's a standard of mine. So treating you like a human being, treating you like someone who I'm interested in, baseline, base level. But you kept making it about your emotions that you chose to expose, that you chose to share with me. I understand what Bo was saying. If I put you in a position to where I bring you into my world, and now my world shifts where it's problem after problem, no consistency after no consistency, I totally understand why a woman would dry up. I understand that. But that's not what you said. What you said is it's the emotional connection. But you've yet to explain what that actually means.
So I'm going to take your example that you gave, right? Take the kids to your mom's house for the weekend so that I can be with you, for example, right? So we obviously have the mutual understanding that there's a mother involved and there's children. Outside of paying the bills and being a father and a quote unquote husband, just you and the husband and wife, what emotional connection has there been there to where she feels seen as an individual, as a woman, not just a wife or a mom, that would hinder her to be like, oh yeah, let's take the kids to their mom so I could be physically intimate with you, versus she's dealing with the day-to-day routine of being a mother or being a wife, all these other things. And now you come on the weekend wanting your individual needs met when hers have not been met. I would understand.
What needs that you just said that she has that a man doesn't have himself too? You're not saying anything about.
I'm not talking
men have
about
the same
physical
individual
needs. I'm talking
struggles
about
women do.
no,
What are you talking about?
I understand that, but I'm saying he would like for her to be physically intimate with him, right? And we all said women, for the most part, need emotional connection to be able to be physically intimate with a man, or excited to be physically intimate with a man.
Most women don't genuinely desire their men. I'll give you that. But
Okay,
again,
that's not at all what I said. But I was saying specifically, if a man needs physical intimacy from his spouse, right? That is a manly need. A woman wants to feel emotionally seen, heard, and connected to her spouse. That's the female need. What in that sentence of take the kids to your mom's house so I could bend you over, whatever you said, is meeting her emotional female, individual female, not wife or mom, needs.
Do
Well,
we
I
not do
illustrated.
self-regulation anymore?
yeah,
What?
but thank you. That was the point I was
What
about
was
to get
that?
to. It's
I
Do we
didn't
not
self-regulation.
hear it.
self-regulate
Yeah,
anymore?
self-regulation is a
Self-regulation. You
thing.
sound real
So no,
emotional.
but see again, we when it comes to women, we want to hold them to a standard where we're like, you handle it on your own and come to me ready. But women could make that same argument for men and say, well, if you're really that physically frustrated, go to the bathroom and do your
No,
own
he
thing
wants
No,
to
too.
go
because
inside
now
of
you're trying to tell him
you.
how to wait. Hold on, I got this. This
Oh
is easy.
God,
So now you're saying so this is the
it's
problem.
not.
You want to dictate how he goes and relieves himself. What if he's not the type he wants to go relieve himself through actually having sex with someone? So if now
Okay.
that's the problem, you think that you're entitled to tell him the same way that you wouldn't want him telling you what he should do and how that should mostly fulfill you by taking care of the bills, protecting you, all of those things. But you think that you have the right to banish him to the bathroom to go hit
No,
himself with the kung fu grip? That's
that's
I
crazy.
that's not what I said. That's not
That's
what I said
exactly
though.
what
I
you
said
said.
when it comes to women and their individual as a female needs that needs to be met, all of a sudden we tell women, take care of it, get it done. But when we talk about men, we say, well, you're the wife, you owe him that. So this is the problem. This is where the disconnect happens in a marriage. She's still a human, she's still a woman, she still has needs, and she married you so that you both can fulfill each other's needs. It shouldn't just be a one sided street where she's expected to take care of everything, including herself and her own needs, when there are some things that she might emotionally need and romantically need from her spouse.
I
So
agree
women
with,
get
and I
married to
You
agree,
know,
have their
and I
emotional needs met. That's
hold
why
on for a
marriages
second.
fail.
I think one of the main points we're missing is that the ranking is very different for men, right? So a woman withholding sex from a man would be equivalent to him doing the worst thing that you can think of, right? Whether it would be just letting the entire house fall apart, don't pay any bills or nothing. It puts you in that type of a position. And I understand that there is an emotional connection with women, but for whatever reason, when it comes to casual sex, they're able to put that to the side. I don't know how much of an emotional connection you would end up having with the one night stand. A lot of women trap out here. We see what's on. We know what's on List Crawler and everything else. And when they do anything over here, they have no emotional connection, and their bodily functions seem to be just fine. So women can do it when they want to do it. It's just a matter of them not feeling like it. It goes back to Willie's point earlier about it being lazy and not understanding the importance of it.
I think the confusion for me, and that's why I wanted her to explain it. Maybe she can, maybe she can't. This is my assumption. Restoring. I'm gonna speak for me. I'm gonna try to speak for most men. I think you guys don't take into account when we date y'all, when we build relationships and pursue you, we are performing. I will say that, right? But we're not performing from the aspect that we're pinpointing that this is creating emotion like that. That's not how we think. We think I take you out on dates, I get you flowers, I'm consistent, I pay bills, whatever it may be. You, the woman, are having an emotional experience. You're choosing that you like how he's treating you. Then we decide to be together. But nowhere in that, in my opinion, most men cannot pinpoint what that emotion looks like. So that's why I think it's a disconnect. It makes sense when Bo said you're not handling your business. It makes sense when you lose your job. It makes sense when you don't speak to her. It makes sense when you don't pay her attention. But it's never in our psyche emotional. That's not how we process information at all. That's why I think it's like we get you not giving me sex is action based. It's not emotion. It's action based. So that's why it's like, wait a minute. I'm doing my part. How am I not getting sex? And you keep saying, well, women need an emotional connection. I'm saying, well, what does that look like? Especially if he's doing his job. If he's handling his business, there's no reason why he should be experiencing you emotionally, physically, peacefully. But we know that to not be true collectively. So that's why I think for me, I appreciate you. You're speaking from a heart. Great. I would say most women are like that. But I think it's dangerous to project that and think that we as men are actually operating under the same pretense that you are, because we're not. And I
They
land.
finna Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. Like you need to. I'm gonna check
You
on
been
you
cooking
every day
all
for the
night.
next 30 days because we gotta make. Because they finna do something bad to you, bro. Like
And
That was for sure a mic dropper.
yeah, whoever does it is probably gonna have like a buzz cut and blue hair with a bunch of facial piercings.
No,
Like,
stop.
they finna get your ass out of here.
I mean, again,
Willie, shut your ass
I
up.
understand, nor I don't deny that obviously there might be a disconnect. I don't expect men to understand what women mean when they say that. I just think that it's unfair because women are expected to understand what men's needs are. But again, if men didn't understand what impact that made in a woman's life, why do they do it when they're interested in a woman to gain her, you know, to be in a relationship with him? If they didn't understand the impact of those things, of being romantic, of wanting to, and then they, demote all that to, oh well, I pay bills now and I take care of this, that, and the other.
Oh, that's
I
because
mean,
most men date women that don't like them and try to convince them to like them, so they have to do those things in order to do so.
And to answer
so
your
they
question,
understand that there's some. Mhm.
we're result-based beings. So we're doing the things that work. Like if I take you out and then you agree to go out with me again, and then you agree to go out with me again, it's working. It's not
Okay.
emotional.
Working to what though? To marriage, right?
It
So
could,
what
it
is
could
it
be,
about marriage that ends that result-based, I guess, performance?
I
All
think
of a
that's
sudden,
your
because you're married now, you got her, then that's it. No more effort is needed.
That's the same thing for women.
True. Can I'm gonna ask Miss Shaq a question because I haven't seen you be bad faith yet. Thank you. I'm gonna ask you a question, this specifically. Do you believe that most men are marriage minded?
Who is this for?
Miss Shaq or Miss Mac. I'm sorry,
Miss
I keep
Mac?
calling you Miss
Oh,
Shaq.
okay.
My fault. Do
I
do
was
you
like,
believe?
I was
My
over here
bad.
like, he ain't talking to me.
My bad. Yeah, I might have somebody fuck my name up too. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you believe that most men are marriage minded?
That's a trick
Like,
question.
and I'll give you an example. I'll define it. I'll define the term for the rest of y'all, so we can make sure that
Yes,
same
just for your
conversation.
specific example, please.
Meaning that when they see a woman, they're like, "Oh, that's a wife right there. She looks like a wife." That when they approach a woman initially, that their intent is to find a wife.
I think that's low.
They get the number of men are.
I think
So
that initial like, oh, I'm looking for a wife, and
yeah,
I think that's low.
so
I think that
that's
may grow over time, but I think it's low initially.
no argument. So being what it is, right? Do you also think that men now? Can you see a world where that men typically get married to women because it's something the women require?
Oh yeah.
So agreeing with those two things, in what world would it make sense for you for a woman to use a man's performing and all those things he has to transact with her? In what world do you think that a man can say that a woman who is doing that genuinely is attracted to him when she requires him to do all of these performative things? When physical attraction is primal, it's physical, it's biological. So what do you believe a world exists where these men can say that their wives are genuinely attracted to them when they end up in these sexless marriages?
Well, that kind of goes back around to this moment of like, if you're saying it's just primal, then we're gonna throw out the whole idea of the three.
Not just primal.
No. But the argument of being primal and just like, if that's just enough, that means then you agree with 304 culture then of just doing it and jumping in bed, right? We're going the primal route. Now, if we're talking about like the idea of, I think you're missing what she's saying. It's like, yeah, you're performing with the result of getting closer to something for this woman, whatever that goal is. Let's say we're only going about marriage. We're not talking about somebody who just wants to bed you. We're talking about marriage. He's performing, doing these things, knowing it's going to get him closer to this woman, wanting him to be with him, whatever the case is. Right. She's asking the simple question of, okay, magically, and thank you. Yes, it happens on both sides. Okay, we heard y'all. But she's asking
you ain't seen a man
specifically.
make that point yet, just to be fair. Like, we don't do the women do it too shit.
You literally said they get in a marriage and it becomes a sexless marriage. So that's the same.
That's not saying that women do it too. That's the prescription we're talking about when that happens. Sexless marriages. I'm not saying that women, like, that's not what that is the issue. women are transacting their sexual desire for their husbands. That's the underlying cause. So like I'm saying this. If y'all are asking men to perform, how can you be surprised that men feel like it's transactional?
We're both asking for it to perform. I have no issue with the word transactional. So I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong person to ask that question to, because I feel like every relationship that is reciprocal or transactional, like if we're being honest, that's
so do you
unless you're a child and it's your parent taking care of you. That's the only time it's not.
Yeah, I think transactional. The only people who aren't transactional are children, and I think that's because children don't. Being transactional is a learned behavior, right? It's something you learn over time, like through experience or just the maturation process, right? But this is the thing. Like the part that we miss is that there's duties in a marriage that women still say, well, I'm not going to do my duty unless you give me this thing that it's not necessarily your duty. A man doesn't have a duty to connect with his woman emotionally. It's not in his vows. That's not a duty. That's a luxury. Then if you have a man that was willing to do that, you are lucky. But that's not a man's duty. And I tell you why. And this is why I say that. Everything that is a man's duty in a marriage is enforceable by law. There is no law that says a man, like a wife can't, even we'll say the fault, not the no fault states, but the states where there is a fault being required to file for a divorce, right? The options they give you, it's not we didn't connect emotionally. Like that's not what we're supposed to do. That's not our duty. Our duty is to protect, provide, and these are all things that are enforceable by law. So you guys, everything that you guys are supposed to do is based on our vows. And since she wants to use the Bible as the basis for marriage now, it's in the Bible. So again, in the Bible, it doesn't tell men to connect emotionally with their wives.
So is the wife's only duty to be bedded?
No.
But that's the.
This is the one we're talking about, though. That's the one. That's the one we're talking about.
But this one duty is now not being fulfilled. I think. Restoring was saying there's duties that he's now not providing in this moment.
And that's the problem. The thing that she said were duties aren't duties for men. Those are just things women want men to do.
And that's what I was getting at. I even asked, I'm like, what is it? Like, where's the responsibility? I get it from a woman's perspective. This is an ideology. But it still went back to transactions, performance, because she's making it seem like I impress you, right? I get you to open up emotionally, right? Then we get to a point to where I want to now marry you. I present marriage. You're like, heck yeah, I'm down. And then I get you and I stop doing the things that got you. And it's like, no, bills are being paid. I'm still working. I communicate with you. Things are still occurring. But the expectation is that I'm supposed to be doing things specifically for your emotions.
Okay.
And
But
go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If I have like a job posting, for example, if I have a job posting for a project manager, right? And you come to the interview and you give me your resume, everything on there says you have all the qualities of a project manager. I give you the job under the assumption that you are going to do everything that I had on the job everything you presented to me. I've done this, that, everything that I got on your resume. I give you the job and you come in and all of a sudden you want to be like a scrum master or something else. And it's like, well, I said and did whatever I wanted to get there. Now that I got it, I'm just hey, you have another job posting for an accountant. I can do that too. And you just assign that to yourself.
I think it's better to say that the person comes to do the job, but they don't come to work smiling every day.
Well, I mean, to be fair,
I think that's a better
way.
No,
but they're too. But him paying the bills is not him doing what he did to court that woman before they got married, right? It wasn't him taking her on all the dates, giving her the time. Okay, but it wasn't him, trying to, I guess, like emotionally connect with her, having conversations.
He didn't have no bills he was responsible for prior to marriage.
It's a really bad example to call it a job posting as well, because that's terrible.
But it's not, because
job posting example shows how women propose themselves in marriage.
Okay, so if all a man is denounced to be is just paying bills after marriage, why not lead with that then?
No one said
that's not.
Okay, but that's what we're saying. After marriage, that is going to take place of everything he did before marriage.
That's not. No, because I asked a specific question. Okay, based on what you delivered, are you saying that women in mass in the courting stage are communicating to the men, I need this from you in order to invoke emotion. I need these things to sustain for me to be attracted to you. Are they doing that in mass?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying that if
Go ahead.
Just answer the question he asked you though. Like the
No,
context
she
I was
did. She
asking
said,
you
she
answer.
said no. She said no. So basically, again, you said assumption, and I love that word. You're taking his actions and formulating a narrative that you have no concrete evidence of, which is why I went back and said a man's pursuit is not for emotional connection like you guys think it is. It's for purpose. It's something bigger. It could be family. It could be being with you, but it's not emotional. We do not think like y'all. We don't move like y'all. So you are signing up for an emotional experience. Men are not signing up for that same experience. That's the disconnect.
Every
in
woman
my
gets positive
opinion.
emotions from
So-
when she's getting her ass kissed. That's common.
Okay.
That's not a big. That's not
So
a shock.
if that's the case, then why are men not leading with whatever they say they bring to the table, and women should be like, pleased with, or I guess satisfied with? If you're saying after marriage, what is the point of the performance if at the end of the day he's not also signing up to meet that emotional need for her? What's the point of the performance? Why not lead with whatever it is you're offering?
You'd have to ask
Why
women
put
that because women change.
Because
men aren't out here just arbitrarily going and marrying women and then switching up because we know what that costs us. We know that if we don't perform, we're going to lose. So that's not something that men do in mass.
So the assignment is understood. You know that in order for a woman to feel connected to you,
not to a woman
you
to
have
feel
to
connected
perform.
to us, for us not to lose. We don't give a damn about y'all feeling connected. That's not our duty. But for us not to lose in divorce court, to lose our time, that's why we do the things we need to do. Because again, you have to realize we give you the privilege and the ability to be married. If it wasn't for us, you'd still be single and getting fucked. Period. You'd be a boyfriend, girlfriend forever. It takes a man to propose to you to do that. Like that's not, dowries, unless aside from that type of, you're saying Eastern civilization type shit, if a man doesn't propose to you, you will never get married unless you propose to him. And the worst part about it, that is if you propose to a man, that man does not like you. The same way y'all don't like these niggas that you make fight and you use sex as a currency for, because you use sex as a reward system. And that's the problem. So if you're saying that a guy who is doing everything that a husband's supposed to do, duty-wise, vow-wise, and then still because he doesn't tickle your emotional pickle, that you're not going to give him sex, you deserve all the cheating, all the mishaps, all the hell you get because you're not doing your job.
So again,
all right, so we got another
hey, wait, don't forget Bo. She had her hand raised in the back for like 15 minutes.
Why didn't let it go? Go ahead, Bo.
I'm good. If we got another clip, I can wait. I'm okay.
Sure?
Just don't forget me.
You going first.
Okay.
You're going to get cheated on. It's almost inevitable. Her instincts are so against that control shit that she will actively cheat on you in many cases just because you can't do it, because you are defiling her spiritually on such a deep level that she will literally have to do that to you. And now I know that sounds like making an excuse for cheating. I know that the control part of your brain's like, no, that's an excuse for cheating. Let me ask you a question. If your wife or girlfriend, your life partner, would never, ever, ever fuck you, never, would you feel it's justified at some point to go get it somewhere else? She would never do it. She just would never do it. And she could choose to anytime she wants, but never does it. Look, I feel that way after about 3 hours. So the point is that, so if you're literally not able to engage with her spiritually at all, there's going to be something powerfully resonant at the core of who she actually is that will create a deeply rooted resentment that will turn her off, that will sicken her. And what will happen is other men who have never gave her a ring, never spent a penny on her, didn't invest in her, didn't let him live in their crib, didn't go to get married to her and risk all their finances, but those guys know how to let go and have fun. She will, in many cases, go have sex with that guy who invested fucking nothing.
I'm interested to hear anybody make an argument against this that's based on reality and not just some shit that they anecdotal experience because they wouldn't do it.
That anybody is Bo.
I would.
Ahead,
no,
Bo.
I don't, because Bo won't make the argument because Bo's logical and she's been in good faith all night, so she's not about to troll us. But I would dare somebody to try to make an intelligently articulated argument that's not based on their personal anecdotal experience or conjecture against what he just said.
Somebody might. I got a feeling.
So Okay, I don't have an argument against it because I'm not a man. Do women are just out here like having sex with men that is just a lot of fun and not the men that
Yes.
Yes.
invest in them?
No, bro,
Yes.
But
don't do that, bro. You know
yeah,
damn well what
you
women
I
going
are
down the
doing.
promise
wrong
I don't
side.
Yes.
know women like that.
Oh, come
I
on, bro.
Bro,
Come
don't.
on.
you
Bo,
don't
you
know
don't have
women.
no
You don't know
friends that are
women who are
hoes.
having sex with men.
No, I don't.
You don't know
No.
women who are having sex with men
All
that they
right.
are
There
attracted
goes the
to.
good faith.
Well,
No,
she,
I'm like
we
dead
can't
ass.
say
I
it's not good
don't.
faith, but we might have to polygraph her
So
real quick
so wait,
because
bro.
I
Time out.
do not surround
We
myself
can't
with
get
women
that.
like that. I don't
No,
know
no, no,
women
no,
like
no.
that.
So you wait a minute. Stop it. You're telling me that you honestly believe that women are not just going out here smashing dudes with no investment. You don't think
No,
so?
I didn't
The
say
men
what
that
I
they are
believe.
attracted to.
No, I didn't. I never said what I believed. I was genuinely asking a question. I'm like, because I don't know that world, so I'm genuinely asking the men, is this really true? Because I genuinely don't know. No, I do not surround myself with hoes. None of my friends are like that. None of my friends act like it. None of my friends look anything
I,
like
I,
this.
but I
yes,
would say
Bo,
you
this is
spent
true.
enough time on
Every
social media just to realize it's absolutely a thing. Like there's enough. I don't know. Maybe you don't watch TV or shows or none of that, but you definitely consume enough social media to know that's a thing. It's a thing. It is absolutely a thing. There's been enough women on this panel who would give you the idea that they would do that. Not tonight's panel, but that have graced the stage before.
Bo, if this was true, right? Like say that put my magical thinking cap on, right? My magical I believe this bullshit cap on. If what you said is true, you will be the first woman on earth that I believe doesn't have a friend that's a whore in her circle. Or I mean, it's got to be a friend. It could be a cousin. It could be your sister. It could be your mother. But there is a hoe around like every woman, and
I
and
do.
mind you, what I do know about some hoes is that they girls don't know they hoes. The only dudes who know they hoes are the niggas they fucking with.
And
So
so that might be
and
true.
that is why I can give you the benefit of the doubt because I know it's a lot of girls. Me and my friend group, we've been like, oh, you know, so and so, such and such, and then dude like, man, you know, she's she's, you know what I'm saying, and then he gives us examples and case studies about her said whoreness, and we would have probably bet money that she wasn't a whore. But to think that women aren't out here just arbitrarily fucking niggas, just matter of fact, go look at like all the pretty women's Instagrams that you have. The ones that make those, like they got the highlights, all those trips, calculate those trips to what they earn a year, salary wise. And a bitch that you seen in Turks, San Tropez, Monaco, St. Lucia, Jamaica, and Dubai in the same year is fucking somebody for free. Especially if she's not married.
I don't. Okay, so maybe there's an undercover hoe. Maybe I just know respectful hoes. Okay, but genuinely, there are like I don't surround myself with reckless women. They are not in my family. I don't. It's not a lot. Like my family is small, so like I don't even have anecdotal experiences to speak to this. Like I genuinely don't know them. I don't follow them. I don't none of it. So that's why I'm asking genuinely.
So,
Like
Bo,
I
I
was
would venture to
fully
say you've
confused.
encountered some. They just won't tell you because um, they
I
tell other hosts, but they won't tell you because they don't think you on that type of time. But
Yeah,
you
I
are
hoes
can
don't
agree with
probably
that,
hoes
but
tend to
surrounded
only
by hosts.
hoes tend to only brag to girls they know are also hoes because they won't get judged. Because the cool part about women is y'all are sisterhood until you don't like the bitch you standing next to. And now she a hoe because you know she done sucked 10 dicks this past girls trip. And then y'all fall out. So you understand those things. So hoes aren't out here advertising their hoes like they used to be saying pre-COVID. Like wherever it was empowering to be a whore. The thing is though, you not knowing them is why you can't just I wouldn't say, like if God came down and been like, oh hey, do you have any hoe friends? You can say, not that I know of. But to say emphatically, no, you don't. Because again, the way that weak men also can tell you that we know these hoes that out here fucking is these niggas are traveling. These niggas are going to Atlanta, they going to Miami, they going to events and meeting bitches that they don't know, they don't even know their middle name or their real first name. All they got is a Google voice number for the bitch and they are cracking day one. So and again, all of us up here are not those types of guys anymore. But at some point in our life, every man has had this experience where a woman that he had done nothing for, have been nothing to, have not built anything with has tried to give him give him her most ultimate form of submission without him earning it, or AKA deserving it. So yes, women are absolutely fucking, and if you want to know the ones that are, they're the ones that argue against this point the hardest.
Bo, I just want you to know that I don't buy this shit like they do. I see through you. You know a girl that you know somebody out here that's fucking. Anybody tell me all these girls' bodies were significant investment bodies? Hell no.
I like genuinely. I have a very small circle. Um and all of them are just really respectful women. They don't like I can do because I don't do absolutes. Like I don't know. They not hoes at all. I don't know that they are, if they are. Let me say that. Because my friends carry themselves extremely respectfully. Same way I do. Like you in my everyday life, you would never have known what I've done in my past. You would never know what 18, 19, and 20 look like for me. So that's just who I surround myself with. That's the family that I was raised in. Those are the people that I surround myself with. My people are like me. My people look like me. They act like
Yeah.
me.
So you never had a friend confide in you and talk to you about a guy that she had a
That's what
sexual
I was about
encounter
to go
with?
with. That's where I was about to go, mine.
I've had some clients do that.
Oh.
Like
Yeah.
this was when, because we've all gotten older together. This was when I was in my 20s. But 30s and 40s, no, I don't have those types of clients either. I have most of my clients are wives. And no, they don't confide anything like that.
But
Nothing like that.
I have a scenario I would like to pose to you, since you're saying you're arguing in good faith today and you're being honest.
I am.
Picture a world we gave you truth serum, right? So I shot you in the neck and gave you the truth serum like I'm trying to kidnap you. So now, but now it's just the truth serum, so all you can't do is lie. I sit you down with all of your homegirls. So say it's 10 girls. And I ask you, what do you believe her body count is? Under this scenario, do you believe that the body counts you would give me based on what you know of your friends would not make me, the observer, believe that those women are whores?
I don't know what your definition of a whore is.
I mean, it's had a bunch of dick. I mean, you pick the number 8, 9, 10, whatever. You pick the number, but it's had a lot of dick in their life. Like, excuse me, not wait. I have to be fair. Uncommitted dick.
Oh, well, yeah. Because all of my friends, they were either married or in long-term relationships with the men that they were.
Okay. So now, when you're talking to your girlfriends, right? And y'all talking about guys and niggas, do you ever have like some insight to like, oh yeah, she finna fuck him? Like just based on how she talks to him, or that she already fucked him based on how she's talking about him? Do you ever pick up on that? So women have a general idea of what their friends' body counts are. Like it's because you guys know your girls, and that's also why y'all get so mad and y'all protect your group chats like this the fucking Epstein files. Because you know if a nigga goes in your group chats with your sister, your cousin, your girls, and sees those raw conversations you are having about the accidental dick you sucked at the airport, about the accidental dick you took while you went to that wedding or you went to that church retreat, you understand that like your truth is in those group chats.
You are being hyperbolic.
No, I'm not being hyperbolic at all. Like if you need to, mind you, I can give you examples of all of this shit. But so what I'm saying is that a lot of women will say that they're not close to hoes because we haven't defined what a hoe is yet. And now that you understand when we're talking about hoes, there was a person that just crossed your mind, then be like, oh yeah, she might have been a hoe.
So, well, there's the thing, right? I'd say a great portion of men and women believe that nearly every woman got some hoe in them. It's just about running into that dude that's going to unlock it. It's as simple as that. And for me, I think I now understand why your perspective is the way it is. I don't even think you would bang for the ladies as hard as you do if you actually knew the true nature of how women behave and how they will actually sabotage relationships and really go out here and live in there, hold them comfortably like it never even happened, and bring that to the table, bring all that damage to the table for somebody else to pick up the pieces.
if you could switch bodies with a man, like what's that movie where Taraji P. Henson could hear like men's thoughts, and you could experience, that movie. If you
I
could
want to so bad.
I don't know what. No, I don't think you do, and this is why.
I
Because
do.
if you understood and experienced women the way men do, you wouldn't like a lot of women the way you claim that we don't like most women.
But I've dated women.
No, it's the difference. It's you dating a woman as a woman is not the same thing as a man dating a woman as a man.
Oh,
They're not
you're
even
right.
remotely the same.
Yeah, last woman who tried that ended up
She
deleting
unalived herself because she was so depressed. The crazy shit is right. The three differences between you dating women and men dating women. One, if you slap the bitch in her mouth, tell her to shut up, nobody feels bad for her because it's just two women fighting. If True does it, he's a monster, he's a villain, all this other shit. Also, y'all can have all the recreational sex you want to without having to worry about getting pregnant. So there's another big thing. And then three, y'all cool splitting shit because guess what? Y'all are both fucking women. So you can't y'all only hold men to those high standards because if you did all these stud bitches, you would want them to be gentlemen, nice, kind, polite, 6 feet tall, have abs, and pay for everything, but y'all don't. Y'all seem to only like those niggas because they can go get customizable dick pieces and then pick either Ellen, Manny Fresh, or Lil Wayne to dress like because that's who y'all are attracted to.
Yeah, Manny Fresh.
I really hate you.
It's fair.
I can't do this with you, Willie.
But you know, I'm not wrong. It's 3 archetypes of fucking studs, and I gave you all 3 of them. Those are the only 3 types of studs that exist.
You're not wrong.
So then the other ones are called femmes, and they look like regular girls that are just and what's crazy is like the femmes are usually ugly, but the studs would have been cute had they not turned into she niggas.
No, the femmes just they just regular girls with blow dry hair.
For examples. Oh no. Some of them I said it's good you did that.
Okay. Let's get back to the subject. I don't want to go down this road.
No, we could try that. Melanie, what you got on
that? Willie said everything that needed to be said, and so did True.
Said everything you was going to say?
Oh, did you have a specific question for me? I'm sorry.
No, just what we were talking about.
Oh, so I agree with what Willie said. I agree with what True said in regards to the situation. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that part.
Got it. So in the village, did you have an argument for the video where you think that he was wrong about women?
No, I know there's women out there that exist like that.
Well, would you say that it's what percentage would you give it, just from your thoughts? What would you guess?
I mean, if I'm speaking from personal experience, I don't know, I would say like 20%. I know that's obviously exaggerated. I wouldn't be able to give an accurate number, to be honest.
Okay.
Shit, that was surprisingly high. I don't think you exaggerated at all. I don't think that any of us do think you exaggerated at all. That's 20% is probably modest.
Yeah, that's very modest, but it's more than what I thought. Most ladies will give credit for. So, shout out to that. Real dope. How accurate was bro in the video?
I don't know about did they say all women cheat or something like that? I don't know about that part.
No,
but
women
yeah,
that are fucking for commitment. Without commitment, I think is the question.
Yeah, I think most of what he said, I didn't really have any issues about it, as far as, what I heard was the reasons that women step out.
Right. So where do you think the major detachment is? Because he talked about on the one end where the man sounded like he was devoting his life to her. Maybe she got bored, or maybe she got mad with one thing out of the many things he does do. And, a man that had minimal requirements and investments was able to capitalize.
Yeah. So it's like that thing where, like, whether women want to admit it or not, a lot of women say threesomes are for like side niggas and not for their boyfriends, right? It's kind of like that mindset of they're willing to do certain things and stay with men who don't have any type of investment in them, but men that invest in men that they say that they like, they don't want to do those types of things with them, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, because I've heard women say sometimes that like a dude they just playing around with. They'll give him a 3B, but would never do that with their own, boyfriend or husband, which to me is weird. But
That's backwards.
It sucks. I get the logic. It's like, yeah, it's it's a crazy thing to think about, but
yeah, there's a lot of women who say that. Paris, what you got on this? We can't hear you.
I said it's hard to hear y'all because I'm just hearing the ripping sounds.
Ripping sounds?
Would be.
Did you have anything on the video? How much did you agree or disagree with?
I agree with pretty much all of it. I don't want to push back with it.
So you don't have any pushback? You think that so you don't believe that women are justified for taking those steps?
No.
Miss Matt?
So what I picked up from the clip was, I feel like it was like an echo of what Restoring was trying to get to, where we're saying men are physical. We say women are emotional all the time. But yet there's a disconnect of where we have the biggest issues within the relationship. He was pretty much saying that the men are going to cheat because they're not getting a physical meeting, and she's going to cheat. The woman in this relationship would cheat because she's not spiritually being connected to. The word of fun came into play. I think that's the women that are cheating are going out because of that part not being met, and that's what we were talking about in the before that. And I think that's what he was touching on, was that this man is providing and doing the housing and all these other things, but spiritually they're disconnected. I think that goes into what we were talking about, emotionally not being connected. So she goes out, she finds someone who tickles that fancy of hers. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I what he's
You
saying
wouldn't
is
say it's right or
what I'm
wrong?
saying.
You
When I
wouldn't say
say
it's right or wrong?
no, I'm saying cheating is wrong. Period. Right?
Okay.
That's what I was saying with that. I didn't mean it in that way. I'm saying the cheating is wrong, but he's delving into the reasonings why that we talked about, why there's a separation in the relationship. No, you shouldn't go cheat because of that, I feel like. But that's the separation here. The men are saying that they're cheating for the physical reason. He's saying that women are cheating in these cases for the spiritual aspect, and then he put the word fun onto it too.
It sounded like he was saying women are cheating like because of their emotional needs not being met. And I don't think he was even saying it in the video like he was making any type of excuses for it. He literally, it sounded like he was saying that women are cheating for the most dumbest things.
I think that what he was saying is that a woman will be married to a man and then go cheat on a nigga that hadn't done shit. So she been married to a nigga for years, not fucking him, and then go fuck a random nigga that doesn't do 10% of the stuff that her husband does, just because he's not doing the thing that she wants him to do. I think that was the issue.
Isn't that the same thing again on the other end? She's doing everything but that, and now that's where it's like they're saying this is the reason why the invoking of the cheating on either side, because he mentioned both sides of why they cheat essentially.
But I think that his point, and I've only seen that clip a few times, so I'm definitely not, infallible as far as formulating my opinion. But it really sounds like women. It's the same record we said. Women wait till they get divorced to go get fine again. Like a woman will cheat on a nigga that's not doing shit for her just because she wants to, or blame the guy for not giving her the one thing that she's looking for. What I was saying on the side for men is men aren't going to cheat just for one thing on average, because men are lazy, and y'all gotta forget most men can't cheat anyway. Like that's we gotta be fair. It's crazy how like y'all will tell a nigga he can't get bitches, but then you treat him like he does when y'all get in a relationship, and then think that he's out here cheating on you when he's just really at the bar or he's really at the casino. Like y'all, it's you treat him based on how whatever fits whatever your emotional state is. So you know that nigga had to jump through hoops to even get you to take him serious. That's why he had to do all the romantic shit, the grand gestures as a fucking girlfriend. That's why he had to do those things to convince you to even like him or consider him for your romantic commitment long term. That's why he had to do it, because you didn't like him. And then when he finally does enough, spends enough, is grand enough, has tickled your emotionally dynamic pickle enough, then you say, okay, yeah, we can be in a relationship, but you still have to go to continue to do this thing for me to keep me here. So that guy is doing all of those things, but then now, because he's not, when he doesn't do the one thing, the emotional shit that's not his duty or his job, you'll go fuck somebody else who's also not doing any of those things. That's what the dude in the video, because that happens a lot. The niggas that y'all cheat with, and I say y'all, I'm saying women, not you specifically, because we know y'all are all angels and y'all have never accidentally sucked a dick before, so cool. But the women, the men y'all go cheat with don't do shit for you other than make you want to fuck them.
So by special request, we're going to run that video one more time. I know some people missed it, so we're just going to run it back real quick.
It's almost inevitable. Her instincts are so against that control shit that she will actively cheat on you in many cases just because you can't do it. Because you are defiling her spiritually on such a deep level that she will literally have to do that to you. And now I know that sounds like making an excuse for cheating. I know that the control part of your brain's like, no, that's an excuse for cheating. Let me ask you a question. If your wife or girlfriend, your life partner, would never, ever, ever fuck you, never, would you feel it's justified at some point to go get it somewhere else? She would never do it.
Oh, he's talking
she just would never do it. And she could choose to anytime she wants, but never does it. Look, I feel that way after about 3 hours. So the point is that, so if you're literally not able to engage with her spiritually at all, there's going to be something powerfully resonant at the core of who she actually is that will create a deeply rooted resentment that will turn her off, that will sicken her. And what will happen is other men who have never gave her a ring, never spent a penny on her, didn't invest in her, didn't let them live in their crib, didn't go to get married to her and risk all their finances, but those guys know how to let go and have fun. She will, in many cases, go have sex with that guy who invested fucking nothing.
I just forgot that nigga is talking to men. So that changes the whole perspective. He's talking to a group of men. So now y'all, yeah, he's talking to men, explaining to them.
Did you hear what I heard this time now, bro?
That makes sense now. What you said.
Thank you. I listened very well personally. Sorry.
That makes a lot more sense what you said, because I forgot he was talking to niggas. But again, he was categorizing what we said y'all do, which is it's so emotionally ingrained because you don't have your emotional needs met that you go fuck a nigga who doesn't meet those emotional needs but does meet your physical ones.
And there's a woman that meets your physical need in this case and doesn't meet any of the other needs of what you deemed as a wonderful wife that you invested in now. Now it's, you see how it's like, it folds on itself because we do want different things. We want different. We want different things. We say we're different, and then when we come with the differences, we can't understand now.
No, I can support.
But I heard you critique, so
I can support how that makes sense, because the one thing the man wants that he's not getting, right, that's valuable to him is sex. So fucking someone who's going to give you the difference would be if y'all were fucking someone who was giving you the thing you're not getting from your husband. That's the thing. The woman is giving us what our wife isn't giving us by giving us sex. That's the difference.
And usually
that's what I said earlier.
Sex is not a discussion before you get married. This only happens after marriage. It's not all this confusion when you're trying to be his wife. You know exactly what he needs.
If you niggas are marrying women that y'all were dating, unless you just meet a girl like True and Miss Mac meet Tuesday, and then they on some not Cheyenne Bryant. What's the other girl? The one who just was on B Simone show.
Fontenot.
Sarah Fontenot. Like whatever her first name is. Unless y'all on that 11-day marriage shit and y'all get married quick, if you niggas are marrying women who aren't doing these things for you, that hold you emotionally captive, that say, well, if you don't meet my emotional needs, everything else you did is null and void, so I'm going to transact you and weaponize my pussy against you, you niggas deserve all the ashy dick you have.
But
that's exactly what you get for marrying for giving somebody the ultimate prize that you can give them for not performing.
But this is great though, because it's still a disconnect. There's still a disconnect. Miss Max said it, Restoring been saying it all night. There seems to be this understanding that they think we're doing the thing to invoke an emotional connection or sustain it. I don't think that's true. I can personally speak anecdotally women have told me, I like these things. I appreciate these things. This makes me feel this way. So I'm collecting data. But my pursuit of doing it wasn't necessarily around, for like you were saying, restoring. Well, you get me, and then you don't want to sustain the emotional connection. And I'm like, that sounds like a foreign language to me
Well,
because
why
go ahead.
though? Because women do the same thing when they quote unquote take care of themselves or fix themselves up a certain way before, marriage, and then all of a sudden they get married and they get lazy because they quote unquote got what they wanted, right? They got the marriage.
But you still I don't think it's still landing. It's not a
It
matter of
is.
laziness. No, it's not a matter of laziness. Okay. Mind of a man. You're attractive.
Mm-hmm.
I want your attention. I want your time. I want your body. So there's things I got to
Mm-hmm.
do. I don't think about emotion. That's not what processes my pursuit. So if I get you, I get to get your time, your body, the experience continuously.
Because
Continuously.
because you're speaking to my commodity, right? A man's commodity, right? Or a female's commodity to a man is her physical appearance, the physical intimacy. So I will take care of myself. I will make myself look a certain way. For example, women do that. They'll make themselves look a certain way until they get married. And then once they're married, they quote unquote fall off. They get lazy because I got what I wanted by speaking to what you need, what
But they're
you
still
see
gonna
as
have sex with you,
valuable.
regardless of how you look.
But again, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they will do whatever a man wants that he sees is valuable to get that man. Once they get him, they'll fall off, right? And men complain about that all the time. Even if they're physically intimate with their wives, if she's not at the same standard or caliber that she was when he was courting her, they complain about it all the time. You used to take care of yourself, you used to dress up, you used to, go to the gym, whatever the case may be, right? He'll still be intimate with her, but it's not the same. And it's the same for women.
So
But you're painting,
it's not
but
the
you're
same because men will fuck anything. They don't care about how you look. Men fuck fat bitches all the time. Men fuck undesirable women all the time. Women don't fuck their husbands when they don't feel good or they don't feel emotionally connected. That's the difference.
and I think you're still painting a narrative based around, it's like intentional. That's at least how I'm hearing it. I did this, I got you, and now I'm no longer interested in doing this. I don't think that that's what's occurring. I think that it's not understood that the transition of having you more permanently, my job is still function. And Willie kept saying it. We don't stop performing. Now, what you're putting on is a caveat of emotional performance, assuming that we're doing it for the emotion, which that's not why I believe most men are doing what they're doing. They're doing what they're doing because it works. There's a result behind why I'm doing what I'm doing. You're experiencing it emotionally. And then saying that, well, you're no longer sustaining me as a woman emotionally, but you got me here. But in our logical mind, it's like I'm still showing up. I talk to you. I show up for the birthdays. I pay the bills. I'm doing what got you here. What are you talking about? It sounds crazy, but
But that's the thing. I don't think they are doing what got them there. And that's where the confusion is. I don't think that men are doing it intentionally. The same way I don't think women intentionally let themselves go. I think it's just what's the point? There's no need, there's no motivation for them to, there's no incentive for them to continue taking on more effort than they need to, because in both scenarios, they quote unquote got what they wanted, right? They got the husband or the wife or whatever the relationship, whatever the case may be. So where's the incentive to continue putting in that effort? So I don't think men are doing it on purpose. I just think that they put in extra effort to get a result. And once they got that result, all of a sudden the incentive to continue doing what they did to get that, to maintain that result, falls off. The same way if you work out really hard to get your dream body and then you get there, but you don't continue to maintain a healthy lifestyle, you're going to gain weight again. You're going to become unhealthy.
Like it's I don't know. At this point, I kind of think the conversation is about as effective as trying to write in cursive with crayons. Like it's just not. It's there's either I don't because I can't attribute it to intransigence, but I will say that I think that it's more so just not wanting to agree because one side feels they understand the other side better than the other. Don't know which side that is, but at the end of the day, we've been talking about the same shit for 15 minutes and it's not landing for you. She's not accepting how you mean it. And
Can I
the
just ask a
video.
question? Like, what is it that Can you give the example of what they're not doing? Like what that would look like?
Like what women from the majority of the cases like complain about. They don't take them out on dates anymore. They're not doing romantic stuff anymore. They're not connecting with them emotionally. Even when it comes to doing things in the bedroom, they expect women to be, for the most part, in the mood. Even if she's overstimulated or whatever the case may be, maybe they're being neglected with like foreplay or other things. Again, the things that men do when they are trying to get the attention of women, once they are married, those things do tend to fall off. We're not maintaining the same standard.
So you remember when I said earlier that the worst place for a man to be is in a woman's imagination? The women create these narratives in their mind and based off assumptions because they feel that they're true and don't use any type of investigative curiosity to confirm that they are. Like this is like the worst place. And then again, like just even not nothing personal, but when people use words like overstimulated, all this therapist talk shit, like that's how you understand. Like none of this stuff is really rooted in what they've experienced, is what they've most likely heard and been indoctrinated to believe. Because none of us use the word overstimulated, narcissist, all this other bullshit until we got on the internet. And now all of a sudden it's in everybody's language when the majority of us don't know what the DSM-5 stands for. Or the majority of us don't have psychology or therapy backgrounds. But we use these words because we've heard someone use them and we identify with the word. We liked what they said. It was sensational enough for us to add it to our vocabulary. Because again, I guarantee you, if most of you guys go in there and type overstimulated in your phone, we can prove that you don't use it because it's going to change it to oversatisfied, which is the base, which is what like Swipe, Siri, and Android will do when you type in overstimulated the first time you use it. So it's almost seeming as if like there's a point where like these buzzwords are the only thing that people use to articulate their points when they really just don't want to agree with you.
Okay.
So
True.
are we
Like
gonna pretend like what is that echo? So we're gonna
My
pretend
bad.
like men are not aware of the things that they're doing are evoking emotions in that woman to then like them,
No.
like kissing, sweet talking,
Mhm.
like these things is what she's talking about that do start to die out.
No,
So why
but
are we trying to act like we don't understand what she's saying at the same token? I like at
the
some
reason
point I
why
feel
is
like
because
we're intentionally trying to not understand to some extent.
no, it's not that we're trying to not intentionally understand. Is that you guys extrapolate to the power of everything. You guys make it's always the worst and it's the man's fault. Any guy up here would tell you that we assume that a man should understand that if you're not doing the things to get your girl in the mood, she's not going to be in the mood physically. The part that y'all are missing and that we're talking about are all the unspoken things that we're not required to do, but you want us to. Because if you genuinely desire us and you enjoy having sex, you enjoy pleasing your man, you enjoy being a good woman, you are going to do those things no matter what. The same way men enjoy providing and protecting for their family, even though they don't want to go to work that high risk, stressful job. They don't want to get out of bed all day. They don't want to go out and do most of this dragon slaying they have to do. But because we love y'all, we go do those things because it's our duty to. The main issue and the underlying point that not you specifically, but y'all in general seem to miss is that fulfilling your husband sexually is a wife's duty. And you guys choose to only operate or commit to and adhere to your duties when you feel like it. And again, as I've said 3 times now, when your emotionally dynamic pickle has been tickled or overstimulated enough by your husband, even though that's your job. That's literally your job. Job and duty, I use synonymous now. It is your job to please your husband physically. That is your job. The same way it's his job to protect and provide for you. That's his job. Those are his duties. That y'all just want to be like these emotional resource vampires and then get mad when the guy that you're feeding off of can't read your mind. We don't just know to go do the thing that you don't want it, that you actually think that you guys want, because you treat the thing that you want, the simple fact that y'all want them, you act as if that's a man's duty and it's not.
So
And I
we're
was just
speaking
gonna
about
say, I would,
Real quick, yeah. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna let Bo chime in real quick, but I wanted to ask a question. Hopefully, you could start with this answer to this question. To be fair about it, I think that it's understood that the sex portion of it is extremely important to men. So, if that's the case, what do women lead with? What is most important to you? Start with Bo, but everybody, I kind of want to hear an answer from the ladies. What is paramount for you out of a relationship? What would you consider to completely match the importance of sex to men?
Um, Consistency and respect. Um, I think that what they're saying is absolutely correct. That'll dry me up quicker than anything. Like if you don't consistently show up, like if you do the performative thing to get me and then you settle into who you really are and it's not consistent with who you showed me at first, that makes me not trust you. Um I don't like when a man does not respect me as a person, when a man does not respect the relationship enough to put forth that effort. Like if I don't get mutual respect, I'm giving you what I want from you. Like if I don't get that, I can't. It's a complete turn off. Like I don't like it. So yeah, those two things specifically.
So, Bo, I don't want to invalidate what you said because those are absolutely valid points that you make, but it's not a one for one, right? Consistency could be a multitude of things together. So what do you want me to be consistent about? Me paying bills
Just said
and
it.
being emotionally supportive and respecting. Which respect? If you said respect, cool, that's paramount, right? But then if you say consistency also, then that could be a lot of things. What specifically would I have to be consistent with? Do I need to consistently take
I
out
just
trash?
said it.
And
I literally
um,
just
um
said it. If you are doing a very performative thing to get me, if you're doing all of these things, these showman things to get me, and that is not who you are, it is hard for you to be consistent with that. I fell in love with that person. A lot of men are not consistently themselves. Like men do all of these. They'll give you the greatest sex of your life when they first meet you, like when y'all first start having sex, and then throughout the relationship, you get the laziest dick that you ever got. The man will like do all of these things to show you that he's this great protector and provider, and then he'll fall off and not be that great protector and provider. Maybe he's not maybe he's not considering you as much. He gets home from work and he got food, but you don't. You see, like it's a lot of inconsistencies with some men because they're putting on a performance to get you, but that's not who they are. That's what I
right. So,
mean. Like I was
but
very
I don't
clear
I don't
about
know
that
I
when
don't
I
know if
first said it.
everybody caught that before, but Willie made a great point a few shows ago about how like men will go to work and women will see this like one thing, but then they'll have tasks around the house and they'll see there's multiple things. So this is what you said. Every single thing, I get it. Those are all things, but what I'm trying to get people to do is pick one out of those. That's paramount because that's a lot of different things that he has to do, just like he's expecting a lot from a woman, right? But we're just trying to see what's the most important, right? What are we really leading with? And consistency is one thing, but with that one thing, you mentioned several other things. So it's hard to see what's
I mean,
paramount
those
because
are
those not to
examples.
say any of those are not to say
You
any of
asked
those
me for
aren't important.
examples. That you asked me for an
Yeah.
example. That's what I'm saying.
So out
Those
of
were just
okay,
examples. But I
right.
think that the consistency and the respect goes hand for me, consistency and respect goes hand in hand. Like if I feel like you respect me most when you are a consistent man, when you are reliable. I think that is the ultimate form of respect for a woman, when you are completely reliable as a man. So consistency and respect are really the same thing for me.
All right. Any of the other ladies want to answer?
I would say loyalty and sex. I think that that's very high because I feel like you're in a relationship. I feel like it's just me. Like I prefer to always have my man's best interests, and I would say that I've never experienced like a man not going out on dates and not doing all these things when like if you're giving him and you're attending to his needs, I can't imagine a man not doing those things. I haven't experienced it. So I think that if you pull back because of your emotions, then you may see those things, but I just haven't experienced that. So I really don't understand how these men aren't doing it and you're being so performative. I feel like that's the best way to get what you want.
Since both said that she likes solutions, I've come up with a solution to help women. If you think about your relationship with your man and you see a scenario in which you could turn into one of these emotionally transactional women, that if your emotional having your emotional pickle tickled is on what's going to make you actually want to have sex with your husband, don't get married or be willing to let him fuck other bitches. Those are the only two options you have.
I think what happens. Oh, there's an echo. If I don't mind muting up.
My bad.
I think what happens is walk with me. I think what happens is that there's stages of the relationship, right? I'm gonna use restoring because she's been kind of laying the foundation on this. Restoring, if I met you and I was doing the things, the grand gestures, right? And when I met you, I had a studio. Then we transitioned. And because of your influencer requests, now we got a 3-bedroom. Is your expectation of these grand gestures, of maybe the types of things we did or gifts that I was given, is it supposed to look exactly the same even though there's been an elevation of my overhead?
No, I wouldn't say it's a monetary thing. I think it's more of the thought and the intentionality behind it.
Would you say that most women see it the way you're conveying it, or would you say that most women may not actually assess the change in the shift?
I mean, I think for the most part, women who tend to be materialistic are materialistic from the jump. So I don't think it's like an elevation thing that they have expectations for. I think if a woman is materialistic, whether you have it or don't, that's her standard.
Okay. I'll tell you what I generally see is that sometimes if you're fortunate enough to meet her at a certain season in your life, let's say you're in the early 20s, the cute love and the things that you're able to do as a man is what gets the emotion that you're talking about. The taco trucks, the writing of the letters, and that's cool. But we do mature. Now, I don't know if men collectively are doing a good job of explaining, because I can tell you, even being in a relationship currently, when you talk to your woman about life, somehow, some way, even though they're adults, they don't quite grasp that life is different. Not lacking loving you, you're not less worthy. There's conversions. That's not sexy though. So if we was 19 and you're like, baby, I want to go to Vegas, and I'm like, okay, for sure. Vegas at that time may have cost me $500 for the weekend. Fast forward 10 years, Vegas now costs me $3,500 for the weekend, $5,000 for the weekend, right? So it's not materialism, it's reality. And I think, me personally, when I assess the development of women, I don't see them doing well there. They attach you as the 19-year-old man, and now you're 30, but there's been conversions. And I don't think they grow well there, emotionally, in my opinion. Would you say that seems somewhat accurate?
I would say some women, yeah. I wouldn't say it's across the board, but I've seen that happen.
All right, so we about to jump into some super chats. All right, who's gonna be the lucky reader today? Willie, you got us?
Yeah, I got him. What are we doing first? You said super chats?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Prophecy the Savior with the $10. He says that people are just being obtuse, man. People are being obtuse. Men want reciprocity, but it gets labeled as men wanting to be the new woman. Just another way of calling men sassy or gay in 2026. In 2026. It's cool to pander, but I digress. Market 7 with the $5 donut. Who honors their vows more, men or women in a marriage? It's common fucking sense, bro. You know the answer to that. We cheat because we like variety, even if the main chick is good. Some niggas do. He's not wrong. Absolutely, he's not wrong. Brother Numsy with the 2 jewels, silver star. Profile
Brother
picture is
Noopsy.
crazy.
You ain't seen Coming to America?
Yeah, I know. I just say it wrong. I've been doing this to this nigga since I've been over here, man. Let me and him have this. This is our thing. Brother Numsy, 2 jewels. Brother Noomsy again, 20 jewels. party hat. Like reading this out loud is crazy. Brother Newsy, 100 jewels, high five.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know what's up with that.
That's what are these jewels?
It's like TikTok. It turns
Oh,
into
like
money.
the galaxies and all of that. Oh, okay, Ash.
Yeah.
Damn, she really tricking. Ash 88 or H8898, 1,000 jewels, a loot box.
What you call her, bro?
Ash HH88, whatever the fuck her name is.
Okay.
That's what. My bad.
I mean,
Let me get
my
this
bad.
Tell G, do you believe men can restore the village quicker with multiple wives? Do you want us to answer that or no?
No.
No, okay, I don't know. Fuck no. My mere thoughts.
Oh, bad.
I didn't read his. Men express they just don't see it as priority. I can give him that. BTK 1213, 10 jewels hiding. Stalactic or Stalatic. STL Alatic, whatever the fuck his name is. 2 jewels, $100. I mean 100. Viz the poet. Hey, nigga, get out the super chats and get on the panel. You get a sound because you spent 5 or more. They know it's transactional, but it doesn't fit their narrative. I think I hammered that point home, bro. Privacy to save. Y'all heard it here. Folks, if men are in sexless marriages, it's because the men are not doing what the women believe they are due. It's your fault if you are in a sexless marriage. GG's, chat. Well, got a good argument for that one. Level Up DJ, 2 jewels, Silver Star. You niggas cheap now. There you go. Brother Noomsy, 100 jewels, another high five. Brother Noomsy, 2 jewels, 100. Okay. Oh, that's the 100 emoji. Another 100 emoji for 2 jewels. You wait for me to say his name? Oh.
No. I was trying to.
Where them joints is that from TikTok or something?
I'm looked it up while she said it. It's literally what they do. Like, so you know how we be on picking and choosing or Sweeney's lives and people send you like the jewels and shit. It's the same thing.
So YouTube
like,
has
YouTube ain't gonna let TikTok have shit by itself.
Except for organic traffic.
Well, thank everybody for tuning in. Hit that like button. Way out. Y'all enjoy your weekend, and we are out.